Hey, it's Alex Gold, and since I'm the single guy here at the station, yeah, I know.
Wow.
You probably didn't even know we had an Instagram, right?
Hello, Instagram followers.
But now you do. So do me a favor and go follow us at The Fan 96.5. Win tickets, get behind-the-scenes content from the station. Plus, watch videos like Chiefs Take Tuesday and Best Bets on Sundays.
100%.
You're listening to your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Roundtable, Friday, March 28th from Hollywood Casino at 6 o'clock. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, we've made it to Wednesday. It is a Wednesday here on 96.5 The Fan. Hopefully you are taking it nice and slow and easy on the roads this morning.
All the schools on the Kansas side got that 2-hour delay working for them today, so they don't have to be out there.
So just delayed.
Just delayed
no
today.
cancellations.
No cancellations. I don't think the parents would have had any of that today. You know, getting the cancellation text and everything has been enough this winter. It's been a hell of a winter, but windy out there today. At one point, I got kind of jostled a little bit and had to kind of grasp back that wheel. Got the butterflies going a little bit inside my stomach. You had an eventful drive to work, my friend, today. As well. 435 pretty much closed.
Yeah, I've never been blown that hard.
I know. It was extremely.
On the highway.
Yes.
Which I guess continues that. No, yeah, I got the state line, sent you guys a picture. It's like something's developed.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going on, but.
My wife said as I walked out this morning, she goes, I think 435's closed. I'm like, whatever, kind of meandering through the morning. And then Dusty's like,
Arugula. Yeah.
Take your time. We got you.
Yeah, it was right at state line. Took state line to 95th and all to the station.
Yep.
So got a little tour of Kansas.
A lot of texts this morning, people asking. I told you, I said, you've reached that stage in life where you're considered old when all your friends are texting you in the 5 o'clock hour. How are the roads today? 3 different people texting about the roads this morning.
I think age is erroneous. I think they're taking advantage of your time slot. Like, no one's texting Carrington.
Right.
No one's texting Gold or Cody. Who the hell's up this early? It's been, you know what? Bob does his show at 6.
Yeah.
Debbie, text Bob and ask him how the roads are. Even though we've got an hour until we have to drive.
How would you have described the roads, though, this morning? Because I said they're okay. They're not wonderful, but they're not horrible. I mean, our parking lot is an ice rink out here.
Yeah, I almost busted my ass.
Yeah, we almost started working for Dusty a couple hours ago.
Well, I thought it was snow. I was like, surely it's just
snow.
So
did I.
And I
stepped
Shirley, out, and it was like the Looney Tunes sound for a while, or Marv in Home Alone 2 when he's on the goo in the basement.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that is not snow.
No, that is solid ice out there.
That is hockey field.
Yeah.
It's called a rink.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So what do you say the roads are? Fine, okay. They're passable. I mean,
Honestly,
it depends on where you are.
And maybe you guys can attest to this. I was kind of confused on what the roads were.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if that was like asphalt, black ice, water. Because like when I got through the triangle, because I come from Lee Summit, when I was up on the high end,
difficult. Ooh.
It looked like water was just like pouring down the street. But I'm like, is that a mirage? Like, is that just the glimmering of ice?
Right.
Because I'm looking at my thermometer on my car, and I'm like, it's 27, but
the streets have been warm for a good week or so, you know?
So like when I was driving on those, like I was like, I don't know if these are ice, if there's now a couple of like, Billy Bob Thorntons that were driving by me, you'd have thought they were like 10 out of 10 roads. I was like, you get to work on time, buddy. You'll be just fine. And, but no, I would say like the highways, 7 out of 10. Like obviously the normals, like the on-ramps and the off-ramps, like 4.
Yeah.
Like you just got to be careful.
You just got to be careful. I think you're right about you don't know if it's black ice or water, so just pretend it's all black ice and go slow.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, I don't know, because I was like, I would hate if I lost control.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of those like paranoid idiots that drives that like I try to separate myself from every car possible.
You have to.
So if there's like 2 that are going like 50 per se this morning, I would get in the less like, cleared lane and go 60 to pass them and then get back over the middle and then like just be about. Because like if I do something stupid, I don't want to wipe two people out.
Sure.
If they do something stupid, I don't want to be wiped out with them. You get what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
yeah. But that's why it's important though. Like if you're out in this weather right now, we said it the other day. To me, the people who drive ultra slow are just as bad as the people who are going ultra fast in this weather. If you don't feel confident in driving in this weather, give yourself a couple of hours. It'll clear up a little bit later on and get out there. I know everybody thinks they have somewhere to go, but I think we kind of all learned during COVID, it's going to be okay if you don't show up to work on time one day. It's not that big a deal, right?
And it's like the only real people affected by this are the ones that are like, if you're up with us.
Right.
Like, by 8 o'clock, I don't think it'll be as bad. Like, it's really not.
Well, the fact that it's only a 2-hour delay for the schools tells you it's going to be cleared up later on. They would have canceled. I mean, the way they cancel schools anymore, right?
I was going to say, I didn't know because I'm getting lunch with a buddy today, and he was like, I may not be able to go to lunch. They might cancel school. I was like, you kidding me?
Yeah, you've been saying this since Monday. Like, this is where parents are right now, Dusty. Okay, we're all on edge.
Please don't cancel. It's like the OJ case in the 90s, like two different ethnicities watching the case, and then like watching school get canceled. The kids are like, all right, oh crap.
Yeah.
I think we should be different roommates.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
It's bizarre for parents. We're like, please just go to school. Please just go to school. I can't make any plans until I know what's going to happen. So we're all delayed on the Kansas side. I haven't seen anything on the Missouri side. Independence, Power, and Light, and that's not a school. But anyway, so we'll have to see, what goes on over there. I think you should be fine to have lunch with your friend today. I think all the kids will be going to school at some point.
I don't see really any there's probably some closings, but I doubt.
Yeah.
As much as they've missed, I doubt this would knock
Nobody
them out.
wants to be closed anymore because now you're starting to bump up against all right, we've got to start adding days. We got to start cutting summer break short because we've got to go longer. Nobody wants that. So everybody will get to school today. They'll get their hours in, and everybody will meander on, and everybody will be happy.
All right, kids, we'll see you after the 4th of July.
That's right.
All right, Miss Anderson, can't wait. No, literally, we'll see you July 5th with your ass in school.
That's right. We're still doing this thing because of all the snow. You love those snow days, right?
No.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it.
Hey, Mac.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hey, Mac.
Happy Wednesday.
34 points, 30 points, 15 assists, 8 and 6. LeBron James, Luka Doncic.
Doncic.
Are they going to win the national championship in college basketball this year?
They might win it all.
I think they're going to win.
BCS.
I think they're going to win. I think they're going to go to the NBA Finals.
Well, I think that's a guarantee now.
I think they're.
He 100% guaranteed it. There's 100% chance to make the finals.
I have.
Who's knocking them out?
I mean, Oklahoma City Thunder,
I mean,
9 games ahead or something.
Yeah, they'd have their best player the other night score 50 just to win by 11 against a team that is sorry.
It doesn't matter what you're doing in the regular season. This Laker team right now is playing some serious basketball, and they've got 2 unbelievable players. They've got to be the favorite going in, regardless of what happens during the regular season.
Let me set the record for Fescoe's shows that he's ever done to break the show with NBA talk. Okay? Take your time to go to work and listen to me. The Lakers go on the championship. They have too much that they're playing with. They lose their first 2 games because everyone thinks, can these 2 stars collaborate together and be a good team?
Yes.
They lost their first 2 games. They have yet to lose since.
They're, 9 straight, 10 straight now?
They also have got the most well-rounded team in the NBA right now. And they have a lot of to play for. Everyone hates
well-rounded team.
Everyone hates LeBron James. He can play center, he can play power forward, he can play point.
He can play hero, and he can play villain, too. That's why he's perfect for this.
More so villain. Luka is the 3rd best player in the world.
Could you imagine how fat and drunk you have to be to not be good in the NBA with
Just
Luka
go to
doing
Dallas,
what he's
they'll
doing?
get rid of you.
My God.
Everybody hates LeBron. Nobody wants to see LeBron win another championship. Are we all agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
I would
don't
say
care.
mass media does not want to see him win or do anything successful ever again. Just get out. He's at the Tom Brady point in Tampa, where it's like, just get out, man. We don't want you here.
But see, for me, who's not a basketball fan whatsoever, I like LeBron James being around. It gives me a quote unquote reason to kind of pay attention because
you're in the minority.
Yeah, but you're always.
I don't know if he is. I don't know if he is.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to pay attention to those star athletes and those villain athletes. I mean, those are the guys that drive you to watch sports. I mean, if you don't have a dog in the fight. But there's that villain playing, like Patrick Mahomes is a villain. Maybe he's a hero, maybe he's a villain, but it's one or the other. Tom Brady was that way. LeBron's that way. Derek Jeter was that way. I think there's a lot of guys over the course of time that you just like to watch play. For me, if the Lakers are in the NBA Finals, there's a real good chance I'm dialing in. If it's Oklahoma City taking on the Knicks, I'll watch passively, but it won't be like if LeBron was taking part in the NBA Finals because he truly hasn't won a real championship in Los Angeles yet. And that's really what's left on his kind of ledger of things to accomplish. Imagine LeBron winning a championship in Cleveland, in Miami, and then a real championship in Los Angeles.
Whoa.
That's so damn impressive.
Not only that, to add to that laundry list of LeBron James stuff, if he wins this one in LA, he ties Kobe.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, now there's some more respect on the name. Because, like, I don't know who it was that told him, but he's like, you're not a Laker unless you win a championship. That's just the standard here. He won one in the bubble, and it was kind of like half the crowd was like,
yeah, right.
And Jerry West, he's no damn champion. But then you have Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, this guy complains a lot. Oh, God, he flops. Oh, he's just always bitching at the ref. Oh, Luka, he's fat. Dallas. But now all of a sudden, he's in LA with LeBron, and they're a duo. And 50% of people love it, and 50% of people hate it. And 25 of those percentage of those 50% of the people that hate it, 25 people is Dallas. That 25% of that 50% of hate are Dallas because they're loving to hate because they're going, F our team, man. Like, this is what we got rid of. This guy took us to the finals last year at 24. Now he's in LA with the greatest basketball player of our generation. And all of a sudden he's made this old guy young again. Like, go look at LeBron's numbers since he's been 40.
They're insane. They're better than what they were at 26.
And then go look at him since Luka's joined him. And NBA's ratings would be amazing if it was Max Celtics versus our Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. Because here's the other problem that I have, Mac, is that the Lakers are getting me to a point where I'm almost there to where I've got to stay up for the entire evening's game that starts at 9:30, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it.
I'm not that crazy yet, but I will say having Luka and LeBron is a
30
big
and 30
drawing
last
card
night each.
for the NBA. It's a great thing for the NBA because we had talked about after the American hockey players beat the snot out of Canada on that Saturday afternoon or whatever, right? And we're like, how's the NBA going to respond to this? I think this is a pretty damn good response by the NBA to have Luka and LeBron together. And people who say there's no scripted sports and all that kind of stuff, nobody knew this trade was happening, and Luka ends up with the Lakers when the NBA needs something, they need a kick in the pants. And so the best player, allegedly, you could say one of the five best players in the league gets traded to, you could argue, the premier team in all of the NBA when they're kind of down in the dumps a little bit and they need that boost. The NBA is kind of lagging and slacking and falling apart right before our eyes. Hockey's starting to take over. Nobody's talking about the NBA. Everybody's complaining about it. And then, boom, all of a sudden, one of the greatest players in the world gets paired with the greatest player that's currently playing right now on a team that everybody either loves or hates and is the biggest drawing card in the NBA. You want to talk about the NBA script in full effect? It is right there, and it's a beautiful script. And the NBA needed this to happen to get people interested and to get people talking about and consuming their sport. If Luka doesn't go to the Lakers, nobody's talking about this kind of stuff. It's a beautiful thing by the NBA to put this plan in place to make their team relevant, to make their sport relevant again.
And if you want
this is what I said Friday. This is literally what you were. Bob wasn't here. You saw this. Rig the finals. Have it be Lakers Celtics. This was the take.
It's the best thing for the NBA.
And I knew you'd love that take.
And
Bob.
if you guys want a little bit of an appetizer, Saturday at 7:30, Celtics and Lakers in the TD Garden.
That's it.
LeBron and Luka go play Tatum and Brown in the Garden. 7:30 Saturday night. Who's ready for that game?
Yeah. Good luck, Luka.
We gonna throw any money on that game?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Is this an NBA Finals preview?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll tell you one thing, though. You prove it, they pay you. We'll talk about that on the other side here at 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, my friends over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control are going to come out and take care of my lawn. We're finally going to get that lawn that we've been wanting to have for, I don't know, the last 10 years or so, but more importantly, really the last 3 years. Since we've taken these trees down, we've had no ability to grow the grass in our front yard. There's weeds everywhere. I just don't know what to do. So I'm going to trust the folks over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control because, I don't know, they got college degrees in making sure your lawn looks awesome, and I don't. So I'm going to trust the professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. I love the pest control aspect as well because we love sitting outside. To have the yard cleared of all those bugs all summer long is going to be a dream for us. And for you guys as well, Aspen Lawn and Pest Control can take care of everything for you. You see those iconic blue trucks. They're all over the place, right? And they're always parked in front of the nicest lawns in town. Aspen Lawn and Pest Control has been providing award-winning services since 1985, and they offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. Tell them you heard it right here on 96.5 The Fan. You'll get a free estimate plus up to half off your first first application. So expect the best. Don't wait. Call today. Or better yet, just visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Hey guys, it's Dusty Likens. Let me talk to you. Generally, we hear talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, weight loss as well. But today, I want to talk to you about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can snowball. It can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and it can even contribute to divorce. The one you love is the light of your life, and if you're, like most men, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner that's caused by ED. But if you go to Heartland Men's Health, treatments work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. Don't forget, they have the 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Kansas, Independence, Missouri, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. Like, you know to check you have gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Sport brought to you by Jay's Southland Tow Service on the Missouri side in Grandview. 49 southbound, forced to exit at Missouri 150. You can re-enter at 155th Street. Very slow from 140th. Belton 49 northbound with an accident at 163rd. Keeping things slow from Missouri 58. 435 on the Kansas side. You're forced to exit at Knoll, and you can re-enter past Rowe. Money back guarantees and parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you're securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule your complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
All right, so I don't know. I've got lunch already with you, and I don't know if I should push the envelope.
Oh, push it, baby. I'm much more confident in this.
So we'll definitely bet Celtics Lakers when it happens.
Let's go.
Okay, fair enough. I'll tell you what. Some people bet on themselves, and it pays off. Jamar Chase, apparently. I mean, I don't know. Apparently. Their owner says that they're going to pay him for what he deserves.
Well,
we've heard that guy before.
Yeah, right, that guy's cheap.
Pump the brakes a bit.
Yeah, that guy's cheap. He's not going to pay anybody what they're worth. He's going to pay you what he thinks
That's
you're
right.
worth. And Jamar Chase is going to go, no.
Yeah, about $1. Saquon Barkley, though, man, right? Like, what a turn of events for running backs, let alone just this running back. Because you could talk about where his career was, where it went, where it's headed. Canton, I think. I'm pretty sure about that. But running backs 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? We were having the conversation like, they just don't get paid. They don't get paid. It's like, running backs aren't part of the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, the research. Well, it's cyclical. Right? Everything is cyclical, right?
It's like, fullbacks will be relevant again in like 10 years.
Of course.
Right?
Defenses are starting to be relevant again in the NFL. Scoring is lower. Defenses are better, right?
And I heard a real hot take from Colin yesterday. As he said defensive tackles should start seeing more money than defensive edge rushers because when you're a freak pressured athlete like that, you bring more to the table.
Well, I think every defensive end has been paid already, though. So now you're going to see the defensive tackles start to get paid, right?
They were talking more so about the guy in Dallas that got paid yesterday.
The guy that nobody knew until yesterday?
I guess that's just being, I don't know. I couldn't even say his name, still can't.
I never heard of that guy until yesterday.
And I know that a lot of people hadn't because his little minion, Coward's little minion, J-Mac.
Yeah.
He was like, well, I hope I say this name right. So, like, I knew.
A lot of people don't know.
But judging that guy is a little bit,
Fair.
That's a little much
J-Mac
there.
and nude.
Yeah.
No, so Saquon got an extension yesterday. Highest paid running back in the game.
Yep.
Who's the best running back in football? Is it Saquon? Because we had this conversation way back in like September. Would you rather have Saquon or Derrick Henry? And it was, the tides that bind. Like there was a little bit of, God, Derrick Henry's really good still.
And Saquon has had that injury history all those years,
And then he did the reverse hurdle, and it was over.
And everybody fell in love with Saquon, and he became the guy, and everybody forgot about Christian McCaffrey and everything that he's been doing on the football field,
he went to Germany
too.
to fix his leg.
He never came back, I don't think, right?
Allegedly.
Is he back? Do we know?
He's back.
Is he?
He'll be back next year. He'll have 1,200 yards. He'll have, 900 receiving, 40 touchdowns, and everybody will take him 9th in the first round of the draft.
Right. And then next year he'll be hurt in 2027. Yeah. 26 he'll be hurt. 25 he'll play. 26 we won't see him, and then we'll probably never hear from him again.
But the two things that I think that prove it is you look at what Saquon Barkley did, and he was one of the, if not the key asset to that team getting over the hump and winning the Super Bowl.
I will say he's the reason why, not in that game, but he's the reason why the Eagles were able to get to the Super Bowl. He was the big difference maker in that team this year.
Yeah, and Matthew Stafford couldn't complete the job.
Right.
But gets paid. That's an unnecessary shot. But either way, Saquon Barkley last year did exactly what you have to do, which is either sad or really, awesome for a running back. Like, you have to go out there and damn near rush for a league record rushing yards just to be like, yeah, we'll extend you.
Right.
Jahmyr Gibbs will have to go out and do Saquon's stuff to get that next big, massive contract that Saquon just got. Like, he may not play his full career in Detroit. Like, he may become because I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the next best running back in football. And I know that might be a hot take, but I think it's Saquon. I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs.
Hey, he may go somewhere else because Detroit may not want to pay him.
The reason Saquon didn't get paid in New York, they didn't have an offensive line. So, we're not going to put a lot of money in this asset that we're not going to be able to actually use. you can go try to get paid somewhere else. Who paid him? A team with an offensive line. And it immediately made everybody better. That Philadelphia team was, I mean, I know Detroit, Minnesota were good, but look at who finished where.
But you and I had said midseason we thought Philadelphia was the best team in the NFC. That's
fine.
That's not hindsight. We were kind of calling that one early on, you know?
Detroit, because Detroit of what they'd done with all their injuries. But like
injuries, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at Philadelphia, and who all did Saquon Barkley make better? Like, I would say that he made Jalen Hurts a lot better.
No, sure he did, yeah.
Because,
look at the way the passing game worked in the Super Bowl because everybody thought they were going to run the football, and they didn't, and Jalen Hurts was on fire that day.
I would also say that he made those receivers better.
No doubt.
And I know I'm not taking any shade at Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown. They're both freaks in their own regard. Smith's getting older in the league, getting better. He's probably now wide receiver 1 in Philadelphia. I don't even know if A.J. Brown's going to be back with Philadelphia next year.
He may go read at the library.
Well, he's interested in a lot of teams with A.J. Brown.
Patriots are making calls.
Big time. And
Patriots are calling everybody.
Well,
they got money.
They got money.
They got money. They got a quarterback they trust.
Yep.
And they got a brand new head coach. It's a red ass. It's ready to win.
Hell yeah.
He is ready. I mean,
I'm excited about them.
I actually am too. I'm excited to watch that New England thing kind of from afar. But what's going to happen now is that he got paid, Saquon Barkley did. Now we're going to start to see owners start to panic a little bit and probably give out bad contracts to running backs because that's what happens at this time.
Okay.
You know, like that's what happens. We start to get that peer pressure. Like we saw it with the quarterbacks, first of all. That's where it started with the quarterbacks. Okay. You paid the good ones, and then, you know, the other ones start to get paid as well that don't deserve to get paid, like the Tuas and that.
Though what's
that
different
crop.
is quarterbacks are paid on promise and running backs are paid on proven.
Yes, and that's why you don't pay running backs because they've already done it, right? Like, and they're old and they're washed up, and it happens fast in the NFL. So you're going to see some bad contracts over the next couple of years. I guarantee it, passed out to running backs in this league. The good news is I don't know that the Chiefs are going to fall for that. And what I mean by that is
they want a veteran.
Yeah, right. Well, they're not going to fall for that because they didn't get in the wide receiver money game, right? The only real money game they've gotten into has been with the quarterback, and everybody else, you know, Chris Jones. Yes, Travis Kelce, they're in a different category. But they don't get caught up in chasing the wide receivers or chasing the running backs for money. And so I think it's very important if that's going to be their mindset. And that's the mindset they showed us, right? They said, we're not paying Tyreek Hill, who's one of the best. We're just going to draft and we're going to go with our young guys. And I think that's the way they're going to look at this running back position because Isaiah Pacheco's not getting paid. We've said that for years. The minute I saw him, I go, best of luck in your next 4 years because you ain't getting a fifth in Kansas City anyway. And so he's not going to get paid. The Chiefs have shown they're not going to spend that kind of money. So I do think it's imperative to go out there and either draft or undrafted rookie free agent every year at the wide receiver and running back position. So you're always kind of keeping that arsenal young, fresh, and ready to go where you don't have to get into a situation like the Cincinnati Bengals are in or the Eagles were in where you're overpaying for some of these guys that aren't ultimately going to live up to their end. So I wouldn't be surprised going forward if every offseason now we either see drafted or undrafted free agents, whether it be a running back or a wide receiver for this team.
I still stand on my business that I said, 3 days after the Super Bowl loss, that they need to go draft an elusive running back.
Yep.
It didn't take a lot of research, and now it's getting a lot of legs. But, like, I said that, I don't know how quickly, and this isn't like, oh, look at me. But it's like, that's what I saw in the NFL last year. For guys in here that watch a ton of NFL, I watched quarterback play elevate with a dynamic running back.
And that's the way it's supposed to be, but we got away from that over the last 15 years or so.
Every contender but the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Minnesota.
Every contender.
Well, they had Herschel Walker,
Minnesota,
didn't they?
I wouldn't consider that contender, but fine if you want to
You
consider
wouldn't? They were 14
They were
and 3.
playing-
I mean,
but come on, go back to hindsight. After week 16, you were not picking them.
But
you were not even
okay,
close.
so it took the whole season.
Yeah, but before the playoffs, you weren't considering them a contender.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in the playoffs. Everybody who's in the playoffs is a contender.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
you
seventh
are.
seed.
The Giants have won the Super Bowl as the worst seed in
Yes,
in
it does happen.
the thing.
Sixth seed,
It happens. It does. It absolutely does happen.
Very rare.
But Minnesota, they just got cold at the wrong time. But they were absolutely still a contender with the way that they played all season long.
But you look at, like you said, like the running, and that's the thing that's even that double down on this sort of year is that now you're starting to see that, you know, some people are saying this is the worst draft class ever. This is, you know, there's not a lot of buzz in this draft class. There's a lot of teams like the free agency's not as big. Like we're talking Myles Garrett and Chris Godwin. Like, I mean, I know
Myles Garrett isn't even a free agent.
I mean, like Debo Samuel moved the needle the most we've seen it be moved in the free agency more than it was Stafford. Like, I think we were all more like, whoa, when Debo went to Washington than we were like, Stafford staying in L.A.? Damn it. It was more so like, whatever. But you look at this draft, 15 to 20 running backs in this draft could be franchise sort of running backs moving forward. And there's a lot of big college name running backs, whereas like normally the draft is, there's a bunch of defensive ends, there's a few receivers that could be, big time guys, and there's 3 to 4 quarterbacks. That ain't it this year. This year there's 15 solid running backs. Chiefs have a 3rd round pick that's early. Go get you one. Go get you a veteran. I'm not saying that you go get Aaron Jones, who's going to get the most money out of all the veterans. Go get you one and go kind of mimic that Detroit style in football. I'm not saying they're going to get Jahmyr Gibbs, so please don't put a words in my mouth sort of thing here on anywhere that listens. But like, go get somebody that can do that. Get somebody that can be outside, throw it, because Andy Reid's still not going to be a run heavy guy. But again, you're fixing your offensive line. Your interior line should be able to run block. If you have an elusive running back that can, because that's not Isaiah Pacheco, he's a ground and pound, but a guy that could be a little squirt.
What Clyde Edwards-Helaire was supposed to be. Yeah.
Then all of a sudden that run blocking looks good, and all of a sudden that guy's getting more yards on the ground. You look at Josh Allen's MVP year; he had a lot of help from Cook,
and that's okay. And that's what makes a good football team.
You look at Jared Goff; he had a lot of help from his dynamic duos, right? Yeah. You look at Jaden Daniels. I bet when he goes back and looks at his year, he's like, damn, I'm pretty damn glad I had Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, it works. Sure. You gotta find one. But again, like, there's so many in this draft, and like, you're seeing where the NFL's like mini renaissance has happened. Baseball, we talk about it with like youth and pitch clock and ghost runners. But in football, it's like maybe that running back that's like starting to come more about, because before it was like, oh yeah, go get a skill set running back. Christian McCaffrey was like the only one you thought about.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that and go with the running back, I still can't spend money on a running back in free agency. You have to draft that guy. You have to.
You can, because you've done it with Samaje Perine and Jerick McKinnon.
But that's not spending money. That's going out and getting a guy who has nowhere else to go, and you pay him the league minimum to come here.
To be a veteran that can block and get that one, that 2 to 4 yard rush up the middle. Yeah. Like that, you need that.
You need that guy. But if you're going out for that big name running back or that big style running back, you got to get that guy through the draft. You can't go out, if you're the Chiefs, spend money on wide receivers and running backs in free agency. That is fool's gold. You will never, ever, ever get that return on your investment. And they're paying Saquon Barkley because he won them a Super Bowl. I mean, that's the what have you done for me tax right there for them. That's the Super Bowl tax.
The NFL rushing record.
But he's getting paid for what he did, not for what he's going to do. Yeah. And that's where you run in. Like, if you're the Chiefs and you're looking free agency, and let's just say Jahmyr Gibbs is a free agent, you're not going to get out of Jahmyr Gibbs what you would pay him in the free agent market. He'll never live up to that kind of level of money because it's just impossible to do so. So that's why you don't spend that money in free agency. That's why you don't win the Super Bowl in March. We talk about it all the time. The people who win March, they never are contenders. Dallas wins March seemingly every year, and they haven't done anything in 30 years. So if you want to get a running back, I'm all for that. I totally agree. Draft that guy. Get that young guy in here that has no wear and tear, that's making the league minimum, that you don't have an investment in, and then continue to do that in every draft or undrafted free agent period moving forward. Always go out there and try to find the next, stay young, stay fresh, stay healthy at that running back spot. And the same with the wide receiver position as well. You've got to go out there and try to fix that. And I think you can fix that through the draft. Not fix, that's a bad term to use, but make it better, grow that position. You can do that through the draft as well, because that's where all the good wide receivers the Chiefs have are coming from right now.
Yeah, I don't think we're on the different page.
No.
I'm saying that, but this year I would rather them, instead of being like, oh, they found Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th.
Go get somebody in the 3rd.
Go get that guy.
Sure. I'm not against that. Yeah.
Right.
But fix that left tackle spot first. I mean, that still needs to be the ultimate goal for this team, and I still don't know where the help of that left tackle spot is going to come from.
They also cut Saquon's cap hit in half this year, and they did that right before every other running back's going to get paid. I thought it was kind of pretty good thinking from Howie Roseman, not just for winning the Super Bowl, but just, hey, I'm going to screw everyone else over on the running back market right now.
Well, there's a reason why it's him and Veach that are at the top of the GM chain.
They understand what to do. They don't fall in love with players. They do what's best for the team. And that's the way that I've always kind of operated. I'm like, all right, we're not going to fall in love with these players, because when you do, then you make bad decisions. You make terrible financial decisions. You cripple your roster. And then you're like John Dorsey and you're looking for a job because you're overspending and you're in cap hell. You can't spend erroneous money in free agency on running backs and wide receivers. You have to go draft those guys.
Lee Summit schools are closed.
Closed?
Damn.
Wow.
So is Blue Springs.
Wow. The Missouri side seemingly was worse today, I think, than the Kansas side. I was looking at one of those weather maps, and it was all colored in on the Missouri side, but not so much on the Kansas side.
Yeah.
So
Lee Summit, Liberty, Park Hill, Blue Springs, all closed.
How about that?
So it says Park Hill's closed. Another day stuck at home with critters.
You mean kids and loved ones, right?
We had an 816. It was like, remind folks to check the MoDOT travel map, and wherever Kansas is, too, just check your travel map.
Yeah, you have to look out there. Just, kind of figure out where you're going to go with with the road saying just go slow. I have not heard anything about the Kansas side being canceled. Again, we were in a 2-hour delay when the show started this morning. Blue Valley, Olathe, and I'm sure Shawnee Mission as well, because my wife went back to sleep. So I'm sure they have a 2-hour delay. But Missouri side's closed. Kansas has a 2-hour delay. The roads were okay again this morning as we kind of talk through this, and news is starting to trickle in and what's going on out there. The roads were okay. You just got to drive a little bit slower out there. Use 2 hands today. You will get blown on the roads. I mean, it's back and forth like that a little bit, so use 2 hands on the wheel. But other than that, I think you should be good and get to work and everything on time. I understand, though, why the schools are a little bit closed, because if they have a parking lot like ours was today, Dusty, a lot of kiddos are going to be sliding all over the place needing stitches.
Yeah. Which you can spend a lot of time in the garage, which I think Mac was in the garage for quite a bit last night with the Cam Ward stuff. So Cam Ward #1?
Well, no, I mean that's what the Giants are saying right now. They're going to trade up for that #1 pick, and they're going to take Cam Ward. And I don't know if that's the right answer. I don't know if he's the best quarterback out there in the draft. It feels like a safe pick to me. The Giants taking Cam Ward, they're like. Fine, we'll just take Cam Ward. He seems the safest. He's not going to bring a circus sideshow with him. We know he's got some pretty good talent, and we need a quarterback. I think if the Giants take him, as long as they pair him with a veteran that's really good, that's been around the block, like Aaron Rodgers, they would be okay. Like, I don't think you can draft Cam Ward and expect him to come in and start right away. I still think the Giants need to go out there and get that veteran guy. And Sam Darnold's a free agent now too, because nobody franchised him yesterday.
He was in TGL last night watching Tiger Woods.
Did you see
with Josh Allen?
But okay, the Josh Allen thing is very interesting. Ben Maller brought this up this morning. Where are all the Bills players at this bachelor party? They were all like dudes from other teams.
Really?
Go look at the bachelor party list. It's like one guy from the Bills was at that thing,
No
right?
Deion Dawkins or anything?
No, we'll get to him a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, that's just people that went to TGL.
Yeah, but apparently Josh Allen doesn't get along with his teammates. Clearly, the teammates don't like Josh Allen. There's a lot of scuttlebutt going on there. They didn't want to go to his bachelor party. It's all guys from other teams. Josh Allen, he doesn't resonate with his teammates up there in Buffalo. That's why they don't. Are we going to start that, right?
Yep. His wife Haley's annoying. They don't like her.
They don't like her.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many
exactly
guys
right,
in the Chiefs went to like Mahomes?
I have no idea, but this is all of them.
Doesn't
They all
matter.
went, right? But none of the Bills went to Josh Allen's bachelor party. They don't like Josh Allen. I think you just go from A to B. You just draw that
exactly
straight
right.
line, and you get it done.
Well,
But-
maybe he can go be the veteran in New York to help Cam Ward.
Could
become a
be,
better
yeah.
quarterback.
If the Giants were smart, they would trade for Josh Allen.
That's right.
Right? Get him
Hey, what
back
are
with
they
Brian
thinking?
Daboll, right? Come on now. What's it going to take?
What is he going to take?
I was to say, if you're Buffalo and they call, I mean, are you like Veach with something? Because people do call about Mahomes. I know that for a fact. And you just laugh, and you hang up, right? What would you do, though, if you're Buffalo and the Giants called? Would you listen, or is it the same reaction? You just hang up?
Hang up.
You hang up, right? Yeah.
There's four quarterbacks that hang up immediately. And it's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Lamar.
Yeah.
Other than that, we're having a conversation. Like if somebody called Jim Harbaugh and said, all right, buddy, Jim, what do you think you give up for Herbert? He'd be like, oh, man, if he was a worm and had arms and machine guns, birds would be scared.
Yeah.
But let me tell you.
Worms had machine guns, then birds wouldn't be scared of them.
But he's also the guy who'd be like, oh, jeez, you got 4 #1s in that package? You bet you would.
That's it? You do it for 4 1s, huh?
For Herbert?
Yeah. I mean, probably.
I'm thinking I'm playing the role of the Chargers right now. 4 #1s? Hell no.
Yeah, I need more, and I want a good young player.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors.
Would you trade your pick right now if you're the Giants? Let's say you're the Giants. You traded and you moved up to what? Would you trade the #1 pick in Malik Neighbors to the Chargers right now for Justin Herbert?
Yes.
I wouldn't have a problem with that trade at all.
No.
You wouldn't trade the #1 overall pick in Neighbors? Is that it?
The #1 overall pick this year plus Malik Neighbors for Justin Herbert. That's the trade.
I'm all in.
I'm all in on that too.
Yep. No, because nobody's going to throw to Herbert or to Neighbors. Like that's
We'll get someone. We'll get
yeah.
someone. We'll get a Godwin.
Right.
In Charger land, you're talking about Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
He's available.
I mean,
you want a playoff winning quarterback, Daniel Jones is your guy.
I mean, I guess you go get Sam Darnold, have him throw it to Malik Neighbors, and then we'll see what Harbaugh says about Darnold. The guy's got a head that even a halo could fit on.
I mean, it's a huge downgrade, I would imagine, if you go to Sam Darnold. But you get the number 1 overall pick. You get Carter.
I don't know. I don't think I'd do it.
You got Malik Neighbors.
Well, if that trade ever did happen, somebody has to break it. One of those people that would break it is Rappaport or Schefter. So we go to our poll every week. We do it on Wednesday.
But the poll doesn't say that, so we got to change the poll.
It doesn't. It doesn't say.
It says Schefter or Rappaport or Jordan Schultz.
Oh,
my fault.
Well, in the meantime, whenever we do have Vern or a player on from spring training, it is brought to you on 96.5 The Fan. It is brought to you by Park and Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. I bet you are happy if you chose Park and Go today and you get home because your car would be cleared. Coming up on the other side, a guy who was with us yesterday, but it was his birthday. Today we get back to business and to sports. Jay Binkley comes and joins us on the other side here. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Park and Go will have your car clean and free of snow when you're landing back at KCI today, because you know what? It did snow overnight, and at Park and Go, every spot is covered parking. It's one of the great reasons why you should use Park and Go when you're going to the airport, because every spot is covered parking. You never have to worry about your car being out in the elements, whether it's this nasty winter stuff we're seeing right now, or in the summertime, if it's that sun, that heat that's beating down on your car, you don't have to worry about that. Because Park and Go has all covered parking, and they've got unbelievable customer service as well. As soon as you pull into that lot and check in, they direct you to your covered parking spot, and the van meets you right away and takes you to the airport terminal. When you get back, Park and Go's even better because they're waiting for you. Grab your bag, walk off the plane, jump on the bus, and off to your car you go. So do what we did and join their frequent Parker program and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com and prepay, because when you prepay, you're going to get their lowest rate and save money. That's bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with a meal they'll never forget or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week, or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com. Like you know to check you have gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So if you want to save money, check Allstate first at 888-ALLSTATE or allstate.com.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Spring is finally here, and so are spring projects. So get them started at Harbor Freight's parking lot sale. This weekend, save on products like pressure washers for $69.99, 42-inch roller cabinets for under $500, plus 30% off Hercules corded power tools. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until 3/9/25 while supplies last. Limitations apply, so spring in before it's over.
Facing displacement can be an overwhelming and uncertain time, whether it's due to a job transfer, unexpected life changes, or unforeseen circumstances. The Sharp Homes team, they're here to provide stability and support. My friend Dawn Sharp can help you get through the home buying and selling process. That's why if you're looking to buy or sell a home, contact my friend Dawn Sharp, brokered by Epic Realty. They can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can discuss their instant offer program. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, slow for 2 miles, approaching the merge of 69 highway. They force you to exit at Plattsburgh Road. Freeway shut down there. Southbound to Cookingham, exit in the left lane. Still the problem on the Kansas side, 435 eastbound. Forced exit at Knoll, and then you can re-enter past Rowe. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Back here on 96.5, The Fan. I hope you're staying safe, staying warm. So your mother is without power, who lives in Overland Park, correct?
Yeah, she is. She said there's a lot of people around her without power as well.
Oh, Meemaw, no power today.
No power right now.
Well, that's what I was told. Like, my buddy Sean told me Grain Valley schools out, Lee Summit out, Blue Springs, Park Hill, all these schools are out. And
all the Missouri sides are out. The Kansas sides are in.
But it's not about roads. It's about power. Some of these schools don't have power, so they can't have school.
You can't have school, no.
So it's not a Mocan road thing. It's just like the wind. Which I didn't really believe, like, 70-mile-an-hour winds existed until this morning driving. I was like, because I was telling Bob, like, you know when you ride, like, the detonator, and they're like, all right, 3, 2, and then the jerk stings you before he gets to 1?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and your, like, stomach goes, like, and does a front flip. Yeah, like, there was a time this morning I was driving, it was like, and I was like, oh.
How many times did you get that? I got that once today.
I got blown twice this morning.
Okay, that was good because it was only once for me. You got lucky. It was only 2 times.
On a Wednesday.
I know, right? And Mac, you have a little car. Was it okay for you? Because they were saying last night, like high-profile vehicles. I'm like, okay, I've got an SUV. You got an SUV. Mac has got a little car.
Mac's got a little car.
So I was like, should Mac come pick me up today because he's got a lower-profile vehicle?
That would have been funny.
You know, like 70-mile-an-hour winds. I didn't know what to expect in that situation. But, you know, get jostled a little bit. But so be careful. Use 2 hands. Keep them on the wheel. But yeah, I never thought about the power side of things. And you should have known of all people because 435 and State Line was shut down because the power was down.
Well, that's what you told me when you got in here. I was like, I don't know if like there's like a fatality or what. Because remember when they shut things down and it's that quick and that sudden and it's like something super serious.
Yeah.
And you said power.
Apparently power lines fell down and a truck drove over them or something like that. So I don't know what the full details are. But you sat through it this morning, so you witnessed at 435 and State Line being closed when you came in. So again, people have power outages. It's cold outside. The wind's blowing. And on Saturday, it will be 70. So if we could just get 3 days from now, we'll be golden.
I mean, when Al Roker was talking about this, I had to think it was serious.
Did you see actually the weather map yesterday that the Weather Channel put on X, formerly Twitter, about what the country looks like? And it was just it was so crazy, right? And they go, this is March Madness. I mean, it was like the center of the country had every single possible weather situation happening that could possibly happen in this country.
It is March Madness, and the number 1 team in the nation went down last night on the road. Auburn.
Yes, they did.
Duke will move to number 1, and Duke being national champion, Jackson Dart top 10, Lakers in the finals. I mean, what are we doing here besides getting Jay Binkley on the line?
It's time for the College Football Report with Jay Binkley.
I'm still not sure I'm not Dusty's dad, but regardless.
On your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5, The Fan.
Binkley, 2 days in a row, man. I hope we're not overworking you here on the show. We had a birthday show yesterday. Now we get to the brass tacks. We get to sports, man.
Happy belated birthday, though, Binkley. We'd be remiss if we didn't say happy belated birthday to you.
Well, I always appreciate that, Bob, but I think you were the first one to wish me a happy birthday for like the 6th year in a row.
Of course.
I better be. I'm up early, so somebody's beating me to it.
You are, man. 6 or 7. I don't know. It's at least 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad to be there for you to wish you happy birthday. What did the Combine show us, Jay, about some of these position groups out there?
Well, running backs continue to be that kind of position of need for the Chiefs, and a very strong position in the draft to really help this football team, I think. I think the Combine showed us that a lot of guys just kind of skipped out on the drills. 9 of the top 10 guys on Mel Kiper's list didn't even compete at the Combine. They were there for the interviews and everything else, but as we were talking about last week, these guys just aren't doing drills at the Combine. It's more for depth and guys just trying to show something to get on the radar of teams, but 9 of his top 10 didn't even compete at the Combine, so you can't really see the top, except for the pro days. These guys are going to have to all go to the pro days to find out what these guys run in the 40s and everything else. But also the Combine showed us that left tackle, I don't think remains an option for the Chiefs. The short arms, and it does matter, but the short arms, the arm length for the tackles, not up to what Andy Reid typically drafts.
Well, what are they going to do? I mean, because I know they're going through just about any available player. They're either calling me, they've called Dusty about playing left tackle. Yeah. How do you think they ultimately solve this thing, Jay?
It's going to be through free agency, or it's going to be through trade. I think it's going to be someone that's played the position, someone that if they only have to bring him in for 1 or 2 years, that's fine. Maybe the tackles in the draft get better at some point, and you feel more comfortable going with somebody. But it's got to be a proven guy that's played at a big-time program, because it's got to be someone you can trust to throw in there to cover for Patrick Mahomes. Because if you just get a guy from a small school, I know Eric Fisher coming out of Central Michigan did work for the Chiefs, but, man, you got to trust somebody that's played against the best if you want to put a rookie in to protect Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think Mel Kiper's mock drafts are.
It's a big bundle of suck dust, man.
And that's why we go to the character concerns for the stuff. And big league top 3 picks or top 3 needs the Chiefs need in this draft for you.
I mean, I think defensive line for sure. I think I think running back would be in there, and I'm still going wide receiver as well.
So do you go defensive lineman, wide receiver, running back, or do you still go corner, defensive lineman, running back?
I'd go defensive line, corner for sure. Defensive line, corner, but wide receiver, running back, that area, those 4 picks in some order, the best one there.
Who's a running back that could fall to the Chiefs at that 3rd round pick?
There's several, I think, that could actually fall to the Chiefs in that situation. I'm curious where Caleb Johnson, because he was a stud at Iowa, just seeing where he went, didn't have the greatest of combines. I think guys like Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, Max guy, would be there. DJ Giddens had a great combine.
Didn't he play basketball at Kansas back in the day?
That was his brother, JR.
Oh.
This guy named Brayshaw Tootin out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
That ran a 4.32 at the combine, so if they're looking for that speed out of the backfield. Ollie Gordon kind of had a slower 40, but it's a guy that can catch, and, of course, it was one of the best running backs in the country 2 years ago, but didn't have the greatest of combines. He could be there as well.
So I know you have a rule about how many spins.
Oh, and Donovan Edwards. Donovan Edwards is one of my favorite dudes from Michigan. Could be there.
You have a rule about how many spins you are is the number of jersey you can wear. That's how long I've been listening to you, Jay. I know that theory. But if they draft a running back named Tootin and he wears like the number 21, you'd have to buy that jersey. I mean, I'd have to see Binkley wearing a Tootin Chiefs jersey the rest of my life.
100% I'd be wearing that jersey.
Yeah, you got to. Tootin's the guy I want. I don't care how good he is. I've never seen the guy play in my life, but I want that name here in Kansas City. I think he'd be really, really good. I said earlier with the way that the thing is going now in the NFL, we're overpaying running backs this offseason. We've overpaid wide receivers the last couple of off seasons. I think that being said, Jay, I think it's imperative every year that the Chiefs now get a running back or a wide receiver either through the draft or undrafted free agency, just to kind of keep that position fresh and kind of keep that position young, because they're not going to get that overspend department at those 2 positions.
No, exactly right. And I love how they're doing it. They're not really throwing the bank at wide receivers. They had their opportunity with Tyreek Hill, but obviously Tyreek Hill wouldn't accept the Chiefs' offer and wanted to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL, so they got along with other guys. But I think kind of going that Hollywood Brown route that they did last year, even though it didn't work out because he was hurt, because it was a 1-year prove-it type of deal, those always work out the best for both sides because the player wants to come here, play for Andy Reid, play with Patrick Mahomes, put up big numbers, and then go out and get a huge contract. And so the Chiefs benefit for the player, having this kind of interview with him, and the player benefits for being with the Kansas City Chiefs. But I'd still go wide receiver. And I see so many not talking about Chiefs and wide receivers. Why? Hollywood Brown's a free agent. No guarantee he comes back. Last year, your top two receivers got hurt basically for the year, Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown. What if that happens next year to one of the top receivers? Then whatever you do, I mean, don't count on guys being healthy the whole season. You got to have a backup plan. But right now, who else are you going to go? Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is going to miss some games with suspension. So say he's out, say one of your other guys gets hurt, then what are you going to do? Then what are you going to do at wide receiver? It is not as deep a position as people think it is with the Kansas City Chiefs. I see a lot of people excited about a Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. That's great in theory, but you got to count in injuries, suspensions, and everything else.
Binkley, the last one we asked is a tough one. Who's more likely to be a Chief next year? Charles Omenihu, Hollywood Brown?
I would like to say Charles Omenihu, but I think it'll end up being Hollywood Brown.
All right, man. You got blessed with a day that you can put the 6-pack of the Irish Ale outside of if you want.
Is it Irish Ale time, Jay?
It's March.
It is. It is a hardcore Irish Ale for the next couple of weeks.
All right.
Hardcore Holly, baby.
When did you switch to the Irish Ale, and when will you be switching to the spring beers?
I switched to Irish Ale in mid-February, I think it was. And as far as the spring beers, I hold on to the winter beers and Irish beers for a while because it's a while before it. I don't really go spring beers. I go back to my Coors Light.
There you go. The Silver Bullets, man. Shout out Bob Seger. Well, Binkley, we'll talk to you next Wednesday. Stay warm, stay safe, and if you need to, if you go out on the roads, be careful because you might get blown.
Hey, I heard a great cut you made earlier, but did Matt catch it?
I don't know. He looks like he's nodding his head yes. So, yeah, apparently we know what
good.
that
Yeah,
is.
you said something that was epic. All right, well, talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Jay.
Oh, gosh. Jay Binkley, everybody. One day older. 363 more days until his next birthday. But a year off in this sport would kill it, I believe. So does Vern. What Bob thinks as well. On 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I'll tell you what, you woke up this morning and you looked out the window and you thought, okay, maybe the kids will go to school, maybe they won't. Some are going to school, but some do have the day off. And I know what you're thinking as a parent. What are we going to do with the kids today? It's going to be fine later on this afternoon. We got to get them out of the house. Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take them foaling. You're going to go to Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City at 435 and State Line. In fact, what you're going to do right now is you're going to reserve that lane at foalingkc.com. Go to foalingkc.com and reserve that lane for later on today because the kids are going to want to get out of the house. You're going to want them out of the house. You're going to want to get out of the house. And Foaling is perfect for everyone. Parents, kids, date night, fundraiser night, office party night, hanging out with the guys. It doesn't matter. Foaling is perfect for everybody. And like I said, located at 435 and State Line. It's football plus bowling plus bar equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. So take the kiddos there, let them foal around, throw that football at the bowling pins, have a world-class cocktail, a beer from their unbelievable beer selection, and have yourself a great time at Foaling. Like I said, reserve a lane at foalingkc.com. That's foalingkc.com, and get your foal on.
Basketball fans, don't miss the MIAA Basketball Championships March 5th through 9th at Municipal Auditorium. 18 games over 5 days, the nation's best small college basketball tournament will feature some of the nation's best Division II teams. Get your tickets now through Ticketmaster and visit odyssey.com/965thefan/events February 20th through 24th to register to win free tickets. MIAA Madness, March 5th through 9th. Bring your A game.
The game tips off. The NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or you want to bet that amazing fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot in an even bigger payout. However you want to play, right now is the perfect time to join because new customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 wager wins. Just remember my promo code KFNZ to get started today at your chance at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Looking for the perfect engagement ring? At Shane Company, we know this is an exciting time. It can also be overwhelming. Customers say this a lot. Where do I start? How do I choose? At Shane Company, this is where the magic happens. Since 1929, we've been experts at helping customers find the perfect engagement ring. We invite you into the design process, help you pick out the perfect diamond or colorful gemstone, and choose a style that speaks to you. Come see us in store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or in third-party delivery platforms.
T-Mobile Home Internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You gotta talk fast.
T-Mobile Home Internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
On them.
Get T-Mobile Home Internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For JD Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, a contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Located in KC and Topeka, online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Royals coverage sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound slow for about 2 miles approaching the merge with 69 highway. They force you to exit at Plattsburgh Road. Past that, it stays heavy down towards Cookingham where there's an accident blocking the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Hey, it's Vern. Catch me every day with Cody and Gold at 12:45 for a live update from Arizona as I'm with the boys in blue at spring training. This is your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
It is that time of the year where a lot of people go down swinging. Basketball Madness does come to Kansas City for the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship March 20th through the 25th at Municipal Auditorium. 16 teams, 15 games, one national champion. Bring the family for nonstop action. Affordable tickets. Get yours today at NAIAHoops.com. You heard Vern. Vern was on yesterday. Vern will be on today. He's in Surprise, Arizona, as we gear you up for opening day. Don't look now, but it is right around the corner.
Don't look now because it's covered in snow and you're thinking to yourself, 3 weeks.
3 weeks from tomorrow. Can you believe it?
Yeah, we'll believe it on Saturday when it's sunny and 70 and there's no more snow and the birds are chirping and all that kind of good stuff, right?
No doubt. But baseball is staring down the barrel of a shutdown.
It is, yeah.
For some people that would think that 2027 could be no baseball.
Yeah, you know, I was down in Arizona for a couple of days and talking to people down there. And then I talked to somebody in baseball yesterday who goes, 2027 is going to be a washout. We're not playing in 2027. And people are starting to talk about, you know, this affects everybody in baseball, right? It's not just the players and owners. Anybody who works for a baseball team, if there's no baseball, there's a good chance they're going to be furloughed. And all of those folks have mortgage payments, have car payments, have tuition, all this kind of stuff that's due. And as we're sitting here talking about this isn't fear-mongering. This is listening to people in baseball. And we saw it yesterday, Tony Clark, the head of the union, saying preparing for a lockout in 2027. And whatnot. And that's kind of where everybody is. Everybody is resigned to the fact right now in baseball that 2027 is not going to be available for the fans or for anybody. There's going to be no baseball in 2027 is what a lot of people are predicting right now. And I've thought all along, and I could be completely wrong, and I may have misread the room on this one, Dusty and Mac, and I really think I may have. But I thought if you shut baseball down for a year, yes, fans are going to be mad, they're going to be bitter. But if you came back with a salary cap and a salary floor and even distribution of all the revenues, I think fans would embrace baseball and go running back to baseball. But I feel like maybe I've misread the room on that one. I don't know right now how fans would react if baseball went away for an entire year. And if they did come back with a salary cap and a salary floor, would the fans come streaming back into Major League Baseball? Or would another work stoppage just be like, that's it, I'm done with Major League Baseball?
Well, this is what Vern said yesterday when he joined us.
Well, yeah, I mean, to achieve a cap and a floor, man, you might miss an entire season. Yeah. And in today's entertainment landscape, with attention spans being what they are, people will forget about baseball, I think, real quick.
Wow.
Maybe not you and I, but a lot of people, I think, will forget about. No, I think that would be terrible for the game of baseball. I mean, there already is a quasi cap with all these different luxury taxes. There isn't a floor, and players are never going to go for a hard cap. I can't believe they already have been duped into the soft cap, but. Now, I'm not saying I'm opposed to all of it. I understand where baseball needs to go, right? The players and the owners have to work together if they're going to grow this game. But there's just so much animosity between the two, understandably so, because of the past 80, 90 years. I certainly believe that there's going to be a work stoppage. And, yeah, I think it could be catastrophic for the game.
Yeah, that's Vern saying that, right? And I don't know anymore what the right answer is. The problem is that players and owners do not like each other, as we know. But there's also owners that don't like other owners, and it's big market owners versus smaller market owners, and everybody has their own agenda in Major League Baseball. And until Major League Baseball owners can get in a room and figure out exactly what they want and work in unison together, it's going to be very hard to go to the Players Association and try to bargain with them, because you'll have owners fighting with each other inside the room about, I don't want that, I don't want this, I want this, I want that. So there's a bunch of bickering people sitting around fighting about stuff that doesn't apply to the rest of the free world, obviously. So I need to know, and I want to know from the text line, if you want to call in as well, Mac, your opinion, Dusty, your everybody's opinion. Like, would you go back if 2027 was a wash and it didn't exist, but they came back in 28 with a cap and a floor, and baseball seemingly was on the up and up from some of the off-the-field stuff they did? Would people go streaming back, or would people be like, nah, I'm out? Because we still hear people complain about 1994, for God's sakes.
I think there's a few things. I think, obviously, I'm not the right person to ask, because I will stick around for baseball, but yeah. I'm with Vern. I think the majority of the audience would be like, yeah, no, another year off. Like, they just never get it right. It's not going to come back. And the entertainment factor as well, like with short attention spans, I think Vern nails it there. I think the right person to ask is somebody like Mac, because I think you could throw the spin on it if like, let's say the NBA went away for a year. Mm-hmm. You're not going back. Like, you're like, oh, great, whatever.
I wouldn't care if the NBA went away, right? And if it came back and there was something entertaining, I'd watch it. I'm not a diehard basketball fan.
And I think Mac has that opinion when it comes to baseball.
Yeah, I think I agree there. You guys have kind of swayed me both directions these past few days, as I've heard you guys kind of come from each side, because I do see what you're saying, Dusty, about, and what Vern said, mentioning the attention spans being gone for a year. Would it bring me back? But also the game being structurally better and having a better just integrity of the whole game would attract me to the game. And the salary cap and salary floor is that, but I don't know if it would bring me back. I think I'm still where I'm at and that it would be positive, but I can see where you guys are coming from, that the majority of people would say, classic baseball, can't get it right. 1994 to 2025, still total crap.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about it, and you can weigh in 913-586-7965 on the J Southland Tow Service text line or the phone lines as well. I do want to hear from people, because I don't know if I've misread this situation, but, with baseball, from 94 until like 3 years ago, they had labor peace. They had more labor peace than any other sport. But the perception is, and this is where people can't hide from the perception. The perception is baseball's always dealing with labor issues, right? I think if you ask anybody who's a sports fan what league deals with labor issues the most, everybody would say Major League Baseball. But up until this last lockout that lasted, into the spring a couple of years ago, there's been labor peace in Major League Baseball, but the way that they bungled COVID and handled that like a bunch of children, and now what we have going on, the perception is baseball just can't get it right from a labor standpoint, and that's the perception that the league, Major League Baseball, needs to change, because whether you want to say the perception of people is wrong or not, it is the perception of people. And when people perceive things, you've got to convince them the other way. And the perception is baseball can't get it right from a labor standpoint. So if it were to go away for an entire year, would you come back if they fixed the game and it became more like the NFL, right?
We'll go to the phone lines, 913-586-7965. Double J, what say you if baseball has a stoppage?
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I'd come back in a heartbeat. To have it as an equal playing field for all the major league teams with a salary cap base, heck yeah, make it fair for the Royals, everybody, and give us a chance to win the World Series or at least get to the postseason. So I'm excited for baseball, and go Royals, and we're going to be really good this year.
I think the Royals are kind of a bad example of that, because they're the only small market team since the 94 strike to have won a World Series, right? It's all the big market teams that win a World Series. The Royals are the only small market team to have won the World Series, and they were in the playoffs last year. They've kind of found a way a little bit to kind of buck this trend. But again, that's the perception right now that we're dealing with. The Royals don't have an opportunity to win, but yet they're the only ones that have kind of won in this era of Major League Baseball.
I take it from a selfish standpoint because that's like Bobby Witt Jr.'s youth.
Yes.
And let's say that Bobby Witt Jr. goes out there this year, wins the MVP, comes back in 2026, has a great year, and you get to partner him up with Caglione, himself, and Salvador Perez. And then, oh, by the way, the work stoppage is the last year of Salvador Perez's career.
Right, exactly.
And you don't see Salvador Perez anymore because baseball decided to take a year off because they couldn't figure it out.
Right.
I think the other thing that hurts baseball with the perception of people that watch it and love it is that this is another book, another story of the same narrative. Like, baseball always seems to find its way in these sort of things.
It does, yeah.
Strikes, steroids, layoffs, delays to the season, work stoppage. And it's like, here we go again. You know what? How many times does it fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, or you can't get fooled again? But like, that's the thing about baseball, is that it's always something, and it's never just like, wow, we've gone 20 years without an issue in baseball. That's just not the case. And I think that that's what pisses people off.
It does.
Is that it's like, once I think I can speak for my dad for this, like, once you get into a groove, then it's like something happens and you're like, oh, so everybody was cheating. That's why everybody was good. Well, that sucks. And then before that was, oh, my team's actually pretty decent. Oh, there's a strike. That sucks. And then now all of a sudden you get into this where it's like, oh, the Dodgers can pay everybody and, push the money off and do all this sort of stuff. And all these super rich teams just always play for, like, last year, the World Series, Dodgers, Yankees.
Right.
Ratings were great because two of the biggest markets in sports were tuned in.
Right.
But everybody else is like, baseball sucks.
Yeah.
So,
but I think right now would be a terrible time for baseball, really, truly, to shut it down, because there's so many great young players right now in the game. The games move. They're fun to watch again. Like baseball's got its renaissance going on right
it's
now.
brought me and a lot of my age back.
Yeah,
or there in general.
Well, I mean, that means more than what I have to say, quite honestly,
No, that's
because
fair.
you're 27 years old. I'm an old head. I'm a seam head. They've got me. Already I'm in, but you're new to all of this, and so you have the opportunity to kind of become a new baseball fan. And if they're bringing people in their 20s in for the first time,
no, you're right.
You don't want to look around and shut down again, because I'm 47 years old. They'll get me back. I'm fine.
no, you're right.
You've got new people, new blood in your game right now. You want to keep that going and moving forward. And to take it one step further, it one step further, if you're the Royals, you have an opportunity for these next 2 years. You better be all in, because there is no 27. So be willing to do anything over these next 2 years to win a championship or to compete for a championship and to put a great product on the field. So when it does shut down for a year, when you do come back, people in Kansas City have great memories and we can kind of pick up where we left off. And so if I'm the Royals right now, I'm doing anything and everything, move-wise, money-wise, to try to go out there and win a world championship in these next 2 years.
And baseball's biggest problem isn't itself. Baseball's biggest problem is the sport that everybody else challenges, and that's the NFL. And guess what's not stopping and not going away? The NFL.
The NFL.
And the NFL is just insanely extended itself into everybody else's seasons. It's taken away the NBA on Christmas Day. It's taken away the opening day.
It's taken away March Madness, Dusty.
College basketball is irrelevant to the NFL in the draft, in the pre-draft, in the combine. Opening day, somebody already said on the text line a couple weeks ago, 1,000 times more interested in the combine than opening day talk and early baseball talk. Baseball misses a year, and the NFL gets to have zero competition. Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
You're up a creek without a paddle.
I know, and I just feel like
Maybe
it's the
a
other
boat.
way. Like if they come back and they do it right. But see, that's the other thing. Do you believe if baseball shut down for a year, they would come back and do it
But
right?
then you've got but then you have to explain to those people, don't worry, they'll get it right, and then they'll be like, yeah, and then in 5 years there'll be something else.
Right,
Because
exactly. That's what baseball does. Yep.
Coming up on the other side, one word. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'm glad on a day like today I can't see my lawn because it looks terrible. But you know what? In a couple of months, couple of weeks maybe, I want to look at my lawn because that's when Aspen Lawn and Pest Control are going to take over and have my lawn looking like it should. Wonderful, because for the last 3 years, especially the last 3 years, we've been trying to figure out our front lawn situation. We had trees taken down and all the roots underneath the ground have continued just to suck all the water out of our lawn. I can't get anything to grow. It's been weeds everywhere. Our backyard's a mess as well. And I can't wait for Aspen Lawn and Pest Control to come on over to my house once all this snow dissipates and say, hey, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to handle your lawn. And I'm trusting the professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control because they're college-educated professionals. They went to school for this kind of stuff. So I'm going to wave that white flag and turn my lawn over to Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. You see those iconic blue trucks all over Kansas City, and they're always parked in front of the best lawns in town. And they provide award-winning services. They've been doing it since 1985 that include full care, lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. Right now, you'll get a free estimate and up to half off your first application when you say you heard it right here on 96.5 The Fan. So call today or visit them at aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction, and if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Heartland Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What would you do if you could go back in time with the tap of a button?
Watch the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids?
How'd they do it?
Buy enough Bitcoin to purchase your very own private island.
Or maybe just skip the joke that flopped at the holiday party.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to rewind time. But you can rewind live shows with the free Odyssey app.
Never miss your favorite sports talk again. To get started, download Odyssey and search for your station.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. The new year is here. Home values are up, and you have more home equity than ever. Now is the time to put that home equity to work for you. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Credit card balances are at an all-time high. Why pay 25 to 30% interest to them when you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call? Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket cost. And if you call today, you could make no payments for 2 months. But don't wait. This rate won't last forever. Imagine how good it will feel to have those bills paid off. At Golden Oak Lending, we can make that happen in as little as 14 days. And if for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, slow for 2 miles, approaching the merge with 69 highway. A forced exit for you at Plattsburgh Road. Heading 70 westbound from Grain Valley into Blue Springs, very slow with an accident around 7 highway. Delays beyond Adams Dairy. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Diving back into it here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan with Mac Morey as well. Kansas City, stay safe out there. It looks terrible. Windy, cold, good soup day.
Yeah, it is a definite soup day. Yeah.
Top 3 soups: broccoli cheddar, potato, chicken tortilla.
I'm going to tell you what I'm on a kick now. French onion soup, homemade French onion soup.
Now that's good.
Oh, yeah. You don't like onions?
I don't like them like slimy like that in soup.
I understand what
I'll
you're
eat
saying.
the broth and the cheese and the little crostini that's on top, but I'm not I'll let the onions sit there.
You will. See, I like it, but you got to do it right. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're going to make your French onion soup, guys, get ready to put in time. You got to reduce those onions. Yeah, a little bit. Actually, a little bit of time. You got to reduce those onions for about an hour. And you're sitting there, not glazing the onions. What am I talking about? Sauteing the onions. Yeah, rendering them down. You got to go for about an hour to get the onions to that perfect rendering, and then you get all the good brown bits on the pan. You dump it in. So I'm good with French onion soup. Chicken noodles always a winner, and then matzo ball soup. Those are my 3. Let's go.
Yeah, I still don't think I've had matzo ball soup.
So order it off of Amazon.
Okay.
Order the Manischewitz box on Amazon. Literally, it comes in 2 packages. One is your soup mix. One is your matzo ball mix.
Okay.
You make your matzo balls. You put them in the refrigerator for 10 minutes or something. You make your soup. You dump. It's so good. It is unbelievably delicious.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Magically delicious.
Do you know you can buy the Lucky Charms marshmallows just in a bag?
Yeah, I remember when they started to do that. As we didn't need more diabetes in this world. Yeah, here, just buy marshmallows.
I would.
Yeah.
Fox 4 is not winning today, by the way. They're like out here trying to show you that the roads are bad and everybody's just flying by.
Like 80. Oh, man. It is great.
The roads are terrible.
Exactly. Max said there's a good text on the text line where we can respect the text.
Yep.
From the 660. I'm a dad of a 10-year-old getting ready to start Little League season. So I'm supposed to tell 11-year-old kid, or I'm supposed to tell 11 kids on my team how great of a game baseball is, and it shuts down. Volunteer coaches, $300 bats, and the pros can't figure it out. WTH. What the hell?
Yeah, no, exactly. You're right. I mean, that's where it is right now as a parent. The $300 bat, though, that's the thing because these damn things expire. And so it's like every other year you're spending $300 to $500 on a new bat. And as Dusty said during the break, they changed the rule. Yes. I mean, it's constantly,
believe it.
Like that's the problem with baseball that baseball's run into over the years is that it's just too expensive for the average kid to play. It's just, it's crap, man. I mean, as a parent, we're stretched so thin. People have no idea how stretched thin you are as a parent. And then you want your kid to play his sport, and you've got to invest in a $300 bat, a $200 glove, a $75 helmet, a $100 bag, pair of cleats. What?
Time.
Yeah, time.
Saturdays, Sundays, shot to you know what, because you got to go 3 games in the summer.
Right. It's crazy. It's so hard for these kids just to go out and play a sport right now. And for me, I like when we were kids, man, like we all shared a batting helmet. Maybe there were 3 bats. Everybody just grabbed the bat, went out there and played. And sometimes you left your glove out in the field for somebody else to use. Now, God forbid, you share a bat or a helmet and you get lice.
Or measles.
Too.
New segment we're doing here on Fescoe and Dusty. It's literally titled One Word.
One word.
Yeah. We'll give like a storyline, or we'll give you, for instance, let's start off with a softball, right? Here we go. A baseball shutdown in 27 would blank. One word.
Suck.
Yeah.
Would lose people?
Well, that's 2 words, though, Mac.
Yeah. Baseball shutdown in 27 would make you feel blank. Like terrible.
Poopy.
Happy. Great.
I'd be like, look, guys, I'm not going to lie. I sat down yesterday once I got home. Spring training baseball all afternoon. Like, I just love the game. It's my kind of drug at this time of year, if you will. Love watching baseball. I could watch anybody play at any time, anywhere. It would suck. It would suck. But the game has got to get fixed. We can't have these conversations. When was the last time we had this conversation surrounding the NFL or the NBA or leagues like that? Like, you've got to get this thing fixed. So I would feel poopy.
This comes from Baseball History Nut. Adam Dunn struck out more in 2012 than Tony Gwynn did in the decade of the 1990s. That stat line makes you blank.
Wow.
Yeah. One word to describe that headline. Adam Dunn struck out more times in 2012 than Tony Gwynn did in the decade of the 90s. One word to describe that headline.
Yeah, jaw drop. Wow.
He does not know what one means, I don't think.
Jaw drop? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's 2 words.
Jaw drop. That's pretty simple. 2 words.
Well, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, man. Hyphen, bro.
I would say amazing.
Yeah.
Because I think amazing, obviously one word can be vague, but I mean, like, Adam Dunn was also like, I mean, he was the donkey, man. Like, he hit 45 bombs, hit 260 and struck out, but he hit 45 home runs. Tony Gwynn played in a different era where like singles and doubles mattered.
Right, it did. Like Tony Gwynn, I always look at and go, man, I wish that guy had more power. He was a singles and doubles hitter. But the fact of the matter is this guy struck out more in a year than one guy did in an entire decade. I mean, that's just nuts.
Yeah, Adam Dunn, man, that guy was a Stratomatic king. New season Stratomatic just came out, by the way, so I'm probably going to buy that. And if my dad's listening, I'm going to text in like 5 minutes. Says when and where. One word. Just 2 dudes boxing on top of a hot air balloon.
No.
Yes.
Really? You would do that?
I that stuff seems exhilarating to me. I like that rush.
Oh.
Yes.
When baseball shuts down in 2027, Jake Paul will fight Logan Paul on top of a hot air balloon, and one Paul will never come back again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
Addition by subtract. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would absolutely watch somebody do that. And the video circulating yesterday was two guys on top of a hot air balloon at about 10,000 feet, however high those hot air balloons go, boxing.
Like full on ring.
Right. It's the last boxing match anybody's watched, though. I mean, right? I mean, nobody's watching boxing anymore. So, I mean, those two guys on top of that hot air balloon at about 10,000 feet,
Like I sent you guys that video of that person free jumping.
Yeah.
No.
All in. Would love that.
Negative.
Have you ever jumped out of a plane?
No. Would love to.
Oh,
well, I'm sure we can get that taken care of. Anybody got a plane that wants to have Mac jump out of it? Let us know. 913-586-7965.
From the 913, legendary. And from the 816, nipples. That's their one word to describe just two dudes boxing on top of a hot air balloon.
No chance, man. Like that looked insane.
Yeah.
I'm not a thrill seeker, if you will.
I'm not here to watch people die. You get knocked out and all of a sudden you fall out of the ring. There's nothing but you and a pasture below you that's about 10,000 feet below, which I know that's not the height of a hot air balloon, but still.
I don't know what the height is, but it's high enough.
A, never will I go into a hot air balloon. B, heights are terrifying. And C, hot air balloon. There's just no way, dude.
Are you afraid of heights?
Yes.
Okay. Are you afraid of heights?
No, he wants to jump out of a plane.
No, I wouldn't say I would say no.
Yeah, no, you're not afraid of heights. I didn't realize I was afraid of heights until we do our baseball trip every year. And one year we went out to San Francisco. I think it was 2015 when the Royals were good, because I remember sitting there just watching the Royals game on the phone while we were at the Giants game, and Danny Duffy was pitching, and it might have been a good game for Danny. But we rented bikes and rode over the Golden Gate Bridge. And I looked down, and oh my God,
yeah,
you're like,
I couldn't pedal fast enough, man. And that's when I realized planes don't bother me, big tall buildings don't bother me, but once I feel like I don't have
stability,
stability.
That's when I'm like, I got to get over this bridge.
Yeah, I told our big boss when I went to Portland, Oregon, we drove to Willamette Valley's Vineyard, and I was the driver there. Smart,
nice,
and I took an edible. And I drove. Well, there's this major highway that goes over this giant river in Oregon, in Portland. And I mean, I'm driving an Escalade. I've never driven a car this big in my life.
An Escalade.
What me? I didn't rent it. And I'm driving. All of a sudden, everybody in the back goes, "Why are we going 35?" And I was like, "Chill." I mean, I was high up on a slant, looking over my life, and my heart's at my neck, and it's just like, and I'm just like, I shouldn't have taken this gummy the whole time.
Maybe it would have been better that you did, though,
it was
because
terrible.
you got through it. I mean, no, but people talk about this drive in Hawaii called the Road to Hana or something like that. I've heard about, and people are like, oh, you got to do this Road to Hana. I'm like, they go, what are you afraid of heights or anything? I go, yeah. They go, then don't do it.
What is it? 7 Mile Highway in Key West or down there in Florida?
That's fine. I'm fine with that. It's a 7 mile bridge. That's I'm okay with that. If I'm in the car and I'm on the bridge, I'm fine.
But you're walking, you're toast.
Yeah, if I get out there and
you don't like
not
that.
going to do that. Nope. Like observation decks, like you go up the Empire State Building or something, I can kind of peer out a little bit, then I got to kind of get back. Get back a little
even
bit.
that, you're not in on that.
No,
Okay.
I got insanely hammered in Vegas and went to the Stratosphere and thought it'd be a good idea to ride those 3 rides.
Oh, no chance I'm going on that thing.
Have you seen what those 3 rides are? The Stratosphere?
I've seen them. I've never.
Chance.
One is a detonator, shoots you up.
Nope.
I almost lost my Rio buffet. The second one is a cart that goes over the building and drops and then comes back.
Nope.
And then the third one is like the octopus where you get strapped in, you go over the edge, it spreads out, and you go in a circle.
Yes.
We were the next ones in line. They shut the ride down.
Thank God. You got lucky.
Ooh, that's scary.
True story. My mom's not alive to prove it. My stepdad is alive to prove. I need to prove that story. We were the next in line, and we heard the talkback guy go, "You gotta shut that one down. Bolt loose."
No way.
I can call my stepdad right now.
Oh, my God.
I swear.
No.
And I don't do that, but I promise you on everything.
Wow.
It's
terrifying.
Oh, my God.
Jeff, my stepdad, can tell you this. We were the next in line, and they're gonna like, yeah, we shut it down due to wind. I'm like, no, they didn't.
You heard it. You heard
Bolt
it.
loose.
Yeah.
Bolt loose.
Well, maybe that's code word for wind.
Yeah. One word continues.
I won't get on rides, man. It's not my thing.
I was like, yeah, we're good. We're good, dude. Like, we're out. We're going to go. Let's go get hammered and play some slots. You know what I mean? One word to describe this: Jimmy Johnson replacement. Mike McCarthy.
No.
Negative.
Yeah.
Ron Rivera. Interesting.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because I feel like he's kind of the guy that's like, his nickname's Riverboat Ron. And with the analytics in football, with all these old heads, they're like, well, I don't know why you just didn't kick it there. And Ron's going to be like, well, let me tell you why you didn't kick it there. Because there's obviously these, and I think Ron Rivera is interesting in that role. Doug Peterson.
I'm going to say yes, comma, if he's able to loosen up.
So one sentence.
Yeah.
Sentences.
But it all depends on him. If like he's willing to let his guard down, I think he'd be good. But if he's not willing to let his guard down, then it's a no.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying no because I don't see him being able to do that.
And that's kind of where I fall too.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson, retired. Just stay retired. I don't need any more Doug.
I'm good.
He's ran his course.
Yeah.
It's like this winter. It's like, I don't need another surprise Doug Peterson scene. I'm good, man.
Yeah. Like since the Philly special, kind of yeah.
I'm good, man.
I mean, it went south down there in Jacksonville really fast. Yeah.
Hey, just the game passed him by. It's okay. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get to high school and you're no longer that baseball player. It's just time to put it up and go away.
Yep.
John Gruden.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hell yes.
Yes. What do you think happens first? Gruden's back on TV or Gruden's a head coach in the league?
He's already on TV technically with Barstool.
Yeah, but I mean like the big time networks that televise the NFL.
I laughed so hard at his video yesterday trying to open up a box from Florida State. He's like, Bill O'Brien gave me this box, man. I love Florida State. I got this box
Bill
cutter.
O'Brien's at Florida State now?
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's what he said in the video.
Didn't he coach at Boston College?
I'm sorry, Boston College. Same colors. Same colors.
Yeah, they are the same colors, yes.
Yes. But he was like trying to open this box. He's like, you guys watched me open that box a couple of weeks ago. I struggled. Now I got this box cutter. The hell's going on with this thing? And he
Why
can't
are you
open the box.
this thing up?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I can see Binkley struggling with a box cutter.
One word to describe Matt Rule.
Dork.
Douche.
Yeah, douche is another good one. Like
a-hole.
This guy has been kind of a jackass since he's gotten to Nebraska, right?
Yeah. Significant Wind, is that him?
No, that's Charlie Weiss.
Oh, that is Charlie Weiss.
Yeah, the Significant Wind is the best of all time.
There is a significant wind outside today.
There is, yeah.
There is, that's fair.
Well, there's a significant wind.
Yeah, because Matt Rule is mad that his player's doing TikToks.
Yikes.
TikToks. Not during the game, not during practice, not during workouts, during their downtime. And so what did he decide to do? He decided to make them all do wall sits and do TikToks with wall sits.
It's 4th and goal every single day in our building. That's the mindset. It's 4th and goal every day. Like, I go away to see my family at the beach, and everyone's like, I know you're on vacation. I'm not on vacation. I'm working from the beach.
Loser.
Like, this is 24/7, 365. Like we're chasing greatness. I mean, we there's no everyone here sprinting to stay ahead of us. We got to catch them and then get where we want to be. So the urgency is elite. Elite at football.
When I go to the beach, I'm not on vacation. I'm working from the beach.
We're getting to the point though where we have some guys that regulate the temperature of the team.
He sounds like Louis Anderson.
A little bit there, yeah, he did, yeah. Like this guy.
Does that make sense?
Actually, if you want a true word for Matt Rule, for me, non-credible. I don't think the guy's believable as a head football coach.
Worked at Baylor.
Did a nice job at Baylor.
Great.
Went to the league. Went to the wrong team. Went to Carolina.
Right.
But, I mean, that might have been the one time Tepper got it right.
It may be the greatest payday for him, though. I mean, $35 million to never work.
Well, he knew he was going to get fired, so he put it in the clause.
Yeah, of course.
And then goes to Nebraska, and now he's mad because his star quarterback's doing TikToks.
Elite at football.
Yeah, that's Louis Anderson. That guy's had a lot of, Pall Malls.
But I don't know how you can get out there and talk to kids today and be mad about TikTok, okay? We're doing spring break in a couple weeks. We're flying to Las Vegas for 36 hours just to kind of start there, rent a car, Grand Canyon, all that kind of stuff, and then finish up in Phoenix for a couple of days. And my kids are so excited about going to Las Vegas because there's a TikTok trend out there where everybody's doing it at Caesars now.
Oh, okay.
And so they're excited to go to Caesars. Dad, can we go as soon as we land? I'm like, well, we're leaving here at like 10 o'clock at night. We got a late flight. Land there. It's going to be about 10 o'clock there because of the time change.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yeah, everything's open 24. He said, can we go at like 2 a.m. and do this TikTok? I can't wait to do this TikTok. I'm like, I don't care. That's fine. We're in Las Vegas. Do whatever the hell you want, right, at this point in time. And we'll go. We'll take you wherever you want to go. It's open 24/7. We can do all that. That's what kids are into today. And if you're going to be this old head football coach at Nebraska and make people do wall sits, I tell you to go get effed, really, because you want to recruit these kids. You want to know how you can build your program. Grandpa Rule out here complaining about TikToks and making guys do wall sits. That's not a way that you're going to recruit kids and win over this generation of kids. TikTok is where it's at, bro. Like, embrace what's going on.
Especially his 5-star quarterback's one of the ones doing it.
Is he doing it?
Yeah, he just did a video the other day where
He's in football.
Somebody says, I played football at Lindenwood, but grew up a Husker fan. He's a hard ass, but turns around programs. I believe he's the guy.
They're 6-5. Like, is that where Nebraska standards are right now?
Winning season, you got to start somewhere.
Well, Nebraska hasn't been relevant since Carter was president.
I mean, Bo Pelini had him pretty.
Bo was great. See, that's the kind of guy you need. I like Bo.
But
Pelini.
he's the same guy as Rule.
In a different way, though. I
He's the
feel
same
like,
old head.
But I feel like he's different. I don't know. There's just something not credible. Like, I believed in Bo Pelini as a football coach. Like, I looked at him and I went, all right, I'll run through a wall for this guy. I look at Golden Rule here and I'm like,
Golden Rule. Yeah, that guy.
I mean, listen to this guy.
It's 4th and goal every single day in our building. That's the mindset. It's 4th and goal every day. Like, you know, I go away to see my family at the beach, and everyone's like, I know you're on vacation. I'm not on vacation. I'm working from the beach. Like, this is 24/7, 365. Like, we're chasing greatness. I mean, we there's no everyone here sprinting to stay ahead of us. We got to catch them and then get where we want to be. So the urgency is elite.
If you're working that hard
on the beach, on vacation, with your family.
Not on vacation.
Maybe you got to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, and don't get mad when your wife goes and gets surfing lessons from Skylar.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right, yeah.
Get where we want to be. So the urgency is elite.
The urgency is elite.
One word to describe Matt Rule.
The urgency is
painful.
Loser.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, so that's where I look at that guy. I'm like, you're telling people you're on the beach instead of spending time with your family, you're constantly and you're 6-5. Doesn't sound like a great plan.
But he's got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Don't forget,
the urgency is elite.
It is Wednesday, so the urgency is elite for you to get to our fan, the Fan 965 Twitter poll. Who do you like more, Ian Rappaport or Jordan Schultz? So far, Ian Rappaport is running away with the competition. 59.8% say Rappaport, 40.2% say Schultz is Starbucks. So maybe that has something to go into play with that. But on the other side, when it rains, it pours. I swear I'm not going to talk about weather. It's sports related here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, have you ever wondered about the difference between spending 2 years searching for a home and finding one in just 2 days? The answer is simple. It's Dawn Sharp. The Sharp Homes team is dedicated to turning frustrated home seekers into successful homeowners throughout our region. Just ask Mary. After 2 years of unsuccessful house hunting with another realtor, she decided to reach out to Dawn's team. The result? They found her the perfect property in just 2 days. But that's only part of the story. When it was time to sell her existing home, Dawn's strategic marketing attracted multiple offers on the first day, leading to a signed contract within 48 hours. The Sharp Homes team does more than just deliver results. They provide peace of mind, and they can give you options as well. The Sharp Homes team can help you skip the showings and open houses if that's what you want to do and go straight to sold. Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them, Sharp Homes team, and see exactly why they've sold over 150 homes in the last 12 months alone. Or you can just visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com. That's homesforsaleInKC.com, and start packing.
Booth Creek Wagyu, KC's premier Wagyu beef meat market, has even more convenient ways for you to shop. In addition to their location at 135th and Metcalf, they're now open at 95th and Knoll. Everyone deserves to elevate their beef. Whether you're looking to wow your family with a meal they'll never forget or impress your friends, neighbors, and coworkers, their Wagyu experts are ready to help you pick out something unforgettable. Booth Creek Wagyu, now with 2 locations, open 7 days a week, or at boothcreekwagyu.com.
Shane Company engagement rings are expertly crafted to fit both your style and your lifestyle.
My wife's an artist and works with her hands. Shane Company helped me create a ring that's beautiful and sleek. She loves it.
Shane Company rings are crafted with care using high-quality materials, and we set each center stone by hand in our jeweler's workshop right here in our store. We also protect your ring, including the center stone, with our unmatched free lifetime warranty. Let us help you find your perfect ring, in-store and at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
T-Mobile home internet is all about speed, value.
What you doing, Zach?
I'm rehearsing. There are so many benefits. You got to talk fast.
T-Mobile home internet ranks #1 in customer satisfaction for home wireless internet by J.D. Power.
Wow, you are good.
Try singing it. T-Mobile has price lock.
They won't raise your rate on internet.
Hulu and Paramount Plus on them.
Get T-Mobile home internet all in for just $55 a month with auto pay and any postpaid voice line.
Additional terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When I wake up
The best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hello, Kansas. Looks like we're in for another heat wave this season with a forecasted high of up to $300,000. That's right. The Kansas Lottery is bringing the heat with the Hot Sevens family of tickets rolling across our state. You could instantly win up to $300,000. Plus, there's even a chance at up to $20,000 in the second chance drawing through Play On. Talk about a scorcher. Don't forget your oven mitts when you head out today. See kslottery.com for details.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
I got hurt in a car wreck. Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons you should call us? 1, it's easy. You can hire us today on your phone. 2, it's fast. We can start helping you today. 3, the results.
After my wreck, DM Law got me $200,000. Mike's got this.
Call me. I've got this.
816-888-7500.
Mike's got this.
Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound slow for 2 miles approaching the merge with 69 highway, but no longer shut down at Plattsburgh Road, but it doesn't improve much past that. Stays heavy down to Cookingham. Well, they're clearing up an earlier accident. 35 northbound slow approaching from Pleasant Valley Road up towards Missouri 150 where you're forced to exit. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Some people chiming in on who Matt Rule sounds like. Sam Kinison.
I definitely see that one, yeah.
And Kevin James.
Kevin James I can see as well, yeah.
Mac, I'm not sure. Sam Kinnison's way before both of us, but very funny comedian, no longer alive.
Okay. He died in the early 80s, I want to say.
In heroic fashion. He saved his wife in a car accident.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
Wow.
They were getting in a car accident, and they were getting ready to get in a car wreck, and he jumped in front of her, killing himself and letting her live.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's unbelievable. I was just going to assume he was just like every other comedian, and
full of useless knowledge was the narrative of my life.
No, that's interesting. Actually, I'm really interested in that. I had no idea about it. Changes my perception of Sam Kinison a lot knowing that story now. Also, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop you tweeted out, apparently?
That's not what I tweeted out, but I saw from a handle called The Yak, the race to the center of the blow pop was everything we could have asked for. 2 guys sitting cross-legged with little vests on trying to eat a blow pop faster than the other.
Oh, this is a real competition.
Yeah, it's on. You can just go to my name and you can see. I mean, this guy is putting in work.
Oh, my God. I thought it was just two dudes just trying to guess like that owl with the Tootsie Pop years ago that screwed us all. That owl can go to hell in those Tootsie Pop commercials.
Okay.
3 licks my ass, owl. How many people broke their teeth because you said 3 licks? Does Mac even know what that is?
I mean, I barely know what it is, so there's no way.
There's no chance Mac knows, right?
What? Sorry.
The Tootsie Pop commercial, the owl?
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
I grew up with that.
It was one of those things that just like replay. Like you could tell it was made in the 50s.
Oh,
It was
you
like
could tell it was super old.
Yeah,
it's like when you
awesome.
watch the Rudolph thing, you're like, am I on mushrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is this like animatronic like talking to me?
Yeah.
But no, it looks like me versus Alex Gold in a sucker competition in that video.
I mean, who can eat the lollipop? I mean, this is really insane.
And they're both just cross-eyed staring at each other.
Yeah, just sitting there. Why do they wear the vests?
That's what I was trying to fit. That was my first question.
Yeah.
Not the fact that they're staring at each other in eye contact while they're just going to town on these blow pops, but the fact they're sitting like they are, wearing little like vests. And I mean, that one guy's putting in work.
The other guy's just kind of sucking along. The other guy's twisting and spinning and turning and like doing all kinds of stuff. And the other guy's just kind of just puffing on it like it's a dart.
It looks like the other guy looks like a mixture of Alex Gold and Johnny Knoxville.
And the other guy looks like a mixture of Binkley and Binkley. Hey, I'd suck for a couple years. What do you win if you win this competition? It's hard. You got to like split it, suck it, slam it. That's right. That's how you do a blow pop, yeah.
Yeah. And the competition can be described as
It's a big bundle of suck dust, man.
no doubt about it.
I used to sell blow pops in school. $quarter a piece or 3 for $1. You'd be amazed how many people went the 3 for $1 route. I mean, you could rip people off so easily.
Worst stretch was what this was described as can't guard Jake on Twitter. Worst 3-week stretch for a pro sports franchise maybe ever. He gives credit to the Dallas Mavericks. Kyrie Irving suffers a season-ending ACL injury yesterday. Oh, poor Kyrie.
I really feel bad for him, unless I don't.
And then there's the AD trade where he comes over, gets hurt, and then you also lose Luka Doncic to the Lakers.
But you did raise ticket prices for next year, 8.5% across the board.
Is that considered the worst 3-week stretch in all of sports history?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to really dive deep into that and find out who's had, a bad 3-week stretch, over the course of
Or
time.
a 3-year stretch.
Or a 3-year stretch or a 3-month stretch. I mean, you want to talk about bad stretches. This is a bump in the road compared to what some of the stuff we've been through here in Kansas City. And we were kind of sitting around yesterday talking about it. You want to talk about bad stretches. Try 08 to 12. Just 08 to 12 in Kansas City. It was terrible.
Yeah, the Royals in 08 were 75 and 87. They were then 65 and 97, 67 and 95, 71 and 91, and 72 and 90 from 08 to 2012, the Royals were. Then the boys got called up, and you had your 14, 15, 16, and
13,
17.
you started seeing it coming. 14 was great. 15, world championship, right? Awesome.
Because 13, they made it all the way to the last week of the season before they
it
were
was
eliminated.
good. Yeah, remember the Justin Maxwell hitting that home run? Like, that was a big deal back then.
Grand Salami.
That was 12 years ago, my friend.
I believe that home run was off of Joaquin Soria in Texas.
I think it was. I think you're absolutely right about that.
And then the Chiefs from 08 to 12, 2 and 14, 4 and 12, 10 and 6, 7 and 9, 2 and 14.
Yeah, that 10 and 6 season was clearly the anomaly there in that stretch of 08, the year before Pioli took over, 09 when he was here, 10, 11, and 12. Those Pioli years, you had that 10 and 6 factored in, an anomaly and all of that. And here we sit with the team as good as they are right now. But what we're getting at is you have to hit rock bottom before you can go back up. And the Dallas Mavericks right now, they're at rock bottom. I mean, I don't know that you can get much worse than where they are right now. But again, it continues to lend itself to, are they going to sell that franchise and try to move that thing to Las Vegas? That's what I want to know. Or maybe they just sell it to Mahomes and he moves it here. I don't know.
Oh, don't tease me with a good time. Then I really would hate the Luka Doncic trade.
Yeah.
Like, damn it. We'd have Bobby Wood Jr., Patrick Mahomes, and Luka Doncic all at the age of 30?
Yeah.
Like, good Lord.
Yeah, Kansas City Mavericks. Here we go. But no, I mean, I don't know where Patrick Mahomes is going to come up with a couple of $1 billion to go buy a sports franchise. But I do believe what they're doing in Dallas is exactly what we saw in the movie Major League. Strip the team down to nothing, don't have any fan interest, and then go, oh, we can't make it work here. Move that team to Las Vegas.
gosh, just looking at that 08 to 12 years with the Chiefs. That's why it always pisses me off when people are like, "Oh, you're a Chiefs fan, must be nice."
It wasn't that long ago that they were the dregs of the NFL.
I'm like, when I was 21 years old, when sports really got fun, they went 2-14. And then they improved by 2 wins. And then Matt Castle and Dwayne Bowe had a year in 2010. And then it was back to just garbage. 7-9, 2-14.
Mm-hmm.
And then Andy Reid comes along and everything changes. So, I mean, again, there are stretches, it's been a tough 3 weeks for the Dallas Mavericks. But again, there's been a lot of teams in sports that have gone through 3-week stretches. Not a lot of teams in sports have gone through 4 to 5 year stretches of just oh my God, what are we going to do now? There's football coming up. Yeah, but I mean, imagine, right? You're 2009. Your Royals go 65-97. The season's over before Father's Day.
Yeah, right. Before Father's Day, before Mother's Day, before April Fool's.
And then you're like, but that's okay. We've got football. And then your football team goes 4-12.
Yes.
That's why I think when you look at where Kansas City sports are today and you look at what they have, we just mentioned Dwayne Bowe and Matt Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, we're we have Mahomes and Kelsey.
That's right.
Right? And then you go back to, 2012 Royals or 2009 Royals. Mike Sweeney, maybe?
No, Sweeney was gone. Long gone at that point. The 09 Royals, I don't know who was on that.
Chester Cuthbert?
Yeah, I mean, that was Greinke's year, the Cy Young Award.
Yeah, 09 was, yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, I don't know that you could name anybody that was, nobody was on that team. They didn't even drafted Moose at that point in time, and Salvi and wasn't here. And obviously, Hosmer, I don't even think was drafted at that point in time. So, I mean, that 09 Royals team, man, that was looking at nothing. Is the future ever going to be here? And then it happened, and then we got here. And so I always said Kansas City sports fans are the best in the country because we endear bad times. Now, people looking at it through a prism right now don't understand that we've gone through bad times, but we did. I mean, you really, for the most part, we went 30 years without having a franchise that was any good in this town. We went from the 85 World Series, winning that thing, until 2015. 30 years of no titles. That is a vast wasteland. You had a couple of nice Chiefs years, and the Chiefs came back once Carl and Marty got here, but they weren't winning championships. They weren't, going out there and hoisting trophies and putting banners on side of the stadium. They were good teams. They weren't great teams, but for 30 years, we didn't do anything. I don't want to hear about anybody, 3-week stretch for the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, blow it out your ass.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what both those teams did in those desperate needs. They made big moves.
Huge moves.
Managerial and trades, right? You trade up with Buffalo and you get Andy Reid and you have Mahomes and you have the coach that you want.
Mm-hmm.
You get a guy who has ran out of Milwaukee and Ned Yost, turns his career around, and then you make moves and get James Shields, Wade Davis, et cetera, and your teams go from the bottom to right up to the top because you have to make aggressive moves.
You have to.
You've got to tell Andy Reid, I know you have a plane that's going to take off to Arizona. You're not taking that flight. Here's a blank check, and let me know what you want on this piece of paper from a pyramid scheme of where you want these people to be. Hey, Ned, I know it didn't work out in Milwaukee, but here's the deal. We're going to do this. We're going to make these trades, and we're going to get these sort of players because I think the game's moving this way. Okay, that sounds good. World Series, Super Bowls, back on top.
You have to be willing to be aggressive. And look, it even goes back further. When Glass hired Dayton Moore, I mean, that was a brilliant hire by that organization to go out and get the best general manager that was available at the time, and that was Dayton. And they went out there and they retooled the entire organization to where we are right now. I mean, most of these guys that are playing today are still Dayton's players, right? So they've done a great job by hiring the right general manager on both sides of the parking lot, the right head coaches and manager on both sides of the parking lot, and moving forward. And that's why I say with this 2027, work stoppage looming and possibly no baseball in 2027, you got 2 years to go all in. Let's go, man.
No doubt about it. Spring training coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Park and Go, Casey's premier airport parking destination. And coming up on the other side, it is our guy from Arizona, Josh Verner, our Royals insider, joins us next on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are some kiddos that are out of school today, and you're looking for that perfect activity, perfect thing to do for the parents, for the kids, for everybody. It is foaling. Foaling is football plus bowling plus bar, and that equals Foaling Warehouse, Kansas City. It's located at 435 in State Line. And Foaling is perfect for everybody because Foaling is a mashup of football and bowling, drinks, and fun. And so you've got the kiddos home from school today. They're looking for something fun indoors to do to brave this weather. Take them Foaling. They're going to love it, and you're going to love it as well. You're looking for a night out with the guys or the girls? Go Foaling. You're looking to plan a work event or maybe a fundraiser? Foaling is perfect for that too. The bar is outstanding. They've got unbelievable cocktails, a great beer selection, and you can cater your own event as well. Bring your own food in from anywhere at Foaling and then set up those pins and start throwing the football at them and knock them down. And if you get that middle pin down, the bonkhorn goes off, you put your name on the wall, and everybody celebrates and becomes jealous of you. It is an addictive game. It is a fun game, and it's perfect for everyone. So on a day like today, take the kids Foaling. Reserve your lane at foalingkc.com. That's foalingkc.com and get your Foal on.
98 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of Kansas City has been repairing and replacing garage doors. Locally owned and operated since 1927. Headquartered in Olathe. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of Kansas City. For same-day repair service 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City, 816-221-0072, or schedule online at ohdkc.com.
College basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets and even who's cutting down the nets. If you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time. The app's easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Alex and get on the college hoops action before March takes over. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
This report is brought to you by Care Now Urgent Care. Find one near you at carenow.com.
Care Now Urgent Care has 15 Kansas City area locations open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by KRT Muscle Cream. Missouri side 29 northbound shut down heading towards St. Joseph. Freeway closed at exit 25 around Camden Point. 35 southbound heading towards town. Long delays. About 3 miles of slow traffic approaching the merge with 69 highway. Past that, it doesn't improve much. You're slow for another 2 miles down towards Cookingham with an accident blocking the left lane, but no longer shut down. But they are shut down northbound 35 at Missouri 152. Forced to exit there with delays back from Pleasant Valley Road and building. A body of motion stays in motion until you feel that first muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Go check out 96.5 The Fan's Instagram page for videos, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes content. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2. Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
You're never too old to learn. I found out a word in the song that I didn't know they were saying the whole time.
Can I ask you an embarrassing question about that?
About all the small things?
No.
Oh. I was like, damn it.
Not talking about Mac. He's a little guy. I went to the Mac Shack over there at spring training, by the way.
Mac's awesome.
They got every ballpark has a Mac Shack.
How was it?
I didn't eat there.
Oh.
But maybe I will next time. What goes on at the Mac Shack?
We got everything.
Is that what you
brother.
call your house now?
The Mac Shack.
Mac Shack?
Yes.
Yeah, they eat pasta every night.
Yeah. What was the word that you learned in that song?
Commiserating, I think is what it is.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that word?
I thought he was saying. I thought he was saying comments or rating.
It's funny how you interpret
I thought it was
songs.
comments or ratings.
That makes sense.
And I was like, oh, say it ain't so. I want to, like, you came to my show, comments and ratings, and I was, no, it's commensurating. Okay, it means she's showing sympathy for something you're doing.
so funny.
I was like, damn it.
I love it because we all sing songs like Wrapped Up Like a Douche in a Roamer in the Night or whatever that is,
disrespect
right?
Bruce like that.
But that's how we all view songs, right? So I was going to ask you about the song, and look, I'm just going to be honest here. Watched it my entire life, basically. What are they saying in the Family Guy theme song? Dun dun, it's a Family Guy. Dun dun, you can drive to. Dun dun, dee dee da da. All they can make us laugh and cry. What is that word? Dun dun, it's a Family Guy.
I don't know.
You don't know either?
I'd have to hear the song, and I could probably tell you.
I have no idea what they're saying in that.
Speaking of Family Guy, Josh Verner joins us now live in Arizona. Vern, damn glad to have you again. Glad you're having some nice weather out there. Snow and wind and cold here, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the Royals and something we talked about yesterday with the stoppage. And I kind of compared this because I listened to your words yesterday. We played your quote today about how it could kill the sport and the fans that are trying to get into it. Baseball kind of seems like Jenny from Forrest Gump. Like right when you think you're going to get her back and it's going to be great, she leaves you again. We go from 94 to the steroids to now we have a possible shutdown. And it's like everybody finally, after they watch Forrest Gump's like, you know what? The real evil person in this is Jenny. And I feel like baseball is kind of like Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Okay. I'm having a tough time with that.
Well, she messes with, she lets Forrest
she had AIDS at the end, right?
That's true.
That's what
Yeah.
everybody says, but now they're debunking that.
Well, I think she had AIDS.
I think she had
I
AIDS.
didn't know it was
too.
ever bunk.
Yeah, I didn't either. But the thing is like right when Forrest gives her another chance, like fans give baseball another chance, it's gone. And then you're like, well, I'm done doing that. And then here comes the beautiful blonde once again. You're like, well, can't say no. Saved her life in a car.
Well, she's got my kid now. What am I supposed to do?
Exactly. So, like, now baseball has our kid and Bobby Witt Jr., who plays like a man. And, you know, like, is he like me? So I don't know.
Man, that got me every time, too.
Oh, of course.
He just didn't want the kid to be slow, you know.
What are you watching? Bert and Ernie. No, but I don't know, man. Like I really do. I believe your word where I think it is tough because we were talking to Mac about this, who loves the NBA, loves football, baseball. He's starting to come back around to it because of what the new rules were and the little renaissance they're having. Like that kind of kills everything that you just got started.
Well, we also need to acknowledge that, look, baseball's nothing is competing with the NFL. You know, movies aren't competing with the NFL. Sports aren't competing with the NFL. There is no competition for the NFL. The NBA, golf, and baseball and hockey, they're all fighting for the scraps. If baseball loses an entire season, like I mentioned, you know, Bob and I, Dusty, diehard baseball fans, yeah, we'll come back, but it's going to take a while to get back to where we are today in 2024. It's going to be a while before baseball's eating the amount of scraps that they're currently eating. So you're going to fall behind, PGA and LIV. You're going to fall behind the NBA. And to be quite honest, if baseball, which seems so crystal clear that it is going to happen, that there is going to be a lockout of sorts following the 2026 season, it really feels to me as if the NFL or Vince McMahon or some sort of football entity will capitalize on that. They missed their chance after COVID when the summer was up for grabs. I can't imagine that sport placating to the degenerate gamblers out there, and that's not judgmental. I'm close to being a degenerate gambler. I think football in some form will capitalize and take the summer from Major League Baseball. I always think of Mike Sweeney talking about how baseball has a monopoly on the summer, how the two go hand in hand. And even if you're not a baseball fan, you'll tag along with someone and go to Kauffman Stadium, go to another stadium outside of Kansas City just to experience it, because it is summer and baseball, and growing up in the United States, they kind of go hand in hand. If that is eliminated, even if it is for one summer, the attention span and the insatiable appetite that this country has for football, I think that would allow baseball to be forgotten about. For the Macs and others that are on the periphery, that wouldn't call themselves diehard, that can take it or leave it, I think they'll leave it for quite a while. It'll take 5, 6, 7 years before you get back to where baseball is currently in 2025.
So, I like where baseball is right now. I don't like where it's going, obviously, with that potential work stoppage that is coming up. But I'm going to ask you the million-dollar question, Vern, that I'd like to ask myself, but I don't have the answer. Why aren't they sitting down now and just getting this thing done, knowing where the landscape of sports is, knowing that everybody expects them to F it all up and to miss an entire year? Why not just look at each other and go, hey, we got to figure this thing out. Let's get this done. Let's not be asses here in this situation like we were during COVID.
I think, it begins with just there's a complete mistrust between the two. They can't sit at the table because they absolutely detest one another, right? Tony Clark, now he wasn't playing, but he's aware of these owners colluded against the players in the 80s. It seems like a long time ago, but it's 40 years ago that these guys got together and said, all right, we're not paying. We're not going to pay the free agents. It doesn't take very much to, bend the ear of a David Cohen, a Tom Glavine, the guys that went through everything in 1994. The distrust between the union and the owners obviously dates back to the reserve clause. And, baseball is the last union that is yet to be broken. The NBA, the NFL, the NHL, all those unions have been broken, and that's why they all have a hard salary cap. And, as the players view it, that's why their salaries are limited. Baseball is, in my opinion, never going to go for that, understandably so. Again, they've already capitulated enough with the soft salary cap, and I know the players want a salary floor, but to get that, they're going to have to give a hard salary cap. And, I for as much as I think that would help nationalize the game somewhat, it would level the playing field if you had the hard salary cap and a salary floor. It's going to take a while to display that. So even if everything works out and they come back midway through 2027 with the hard cap and a salary floor, it's, if I'm a diehard fan, okay, I need to see it. Yeah, you guys can tell me that you got this all figured out, but, show me the, Miami and Tampa and Kansas City. Show me the small markets making it to the postseason on a consistent basis. You got to prove it to me. So even if you tell me, all right, we now have what you're looking for, I need a sample size. If I'm a average baseball fan, you got to show me for a good 3-4 years that this isn't same old with the Yankees, the Mets, and the Dodgers spending twice what the other half of baseball spending.
Vern, I know it's a grind in Arizona, but I'm always interested, when does it really start where you start to see the team kind of put it into gear and get ready for that opening day?
As far as, again, on the field, the work on the backfield's always with a guy like Salvi, with a guy like Bobby, when your best players are your hardest workers, there's always a mission to the work. So, I don't want to say that they don't, that they ramp it up later on in spring, because they're preparing themselves for a 7-month season. And that's been very nice to hear from the guys. We now know what a run to October feels like, and that's the plan again this season. A lot of these guys are not battling to make a team out here in spring, so they're being smart about it, but they're also preparing their bodies and minds and everything else that goes into it for a long 7-month stretch. So they're always carrying themselves like professionals, preparing for the regular season. So there's no point where they really turn it up. I guess the best indicator that we're getting close is once you start to see the pitchers get their pitch count up to about 80, 90 pitches, which we're about. The next time through, we got Michael Lorenzen making his first Cactus League start later on today. The guys are up at about 3 innings, so we're still about a week and a half before it feels within reach the regular season. But, man, the first thing that I look for when I come out here in spring training is just the atmosphere in the clubhouse. If the words coming out of that corner of the clubhouse and this corner of the clubhouse sound the same, if there's a unified front, right? If the goals sound the same from the pitchers to the relievers to the infielders and the catchers. And last year that was the thing that impressed me the most, was how clearly stated the goal was from a team that hadn't done much in a long time. They talked about being good enough and the expectation that they were going to prove that they were good enough to get to October. Now, as I mentioned, they now know that they're good enough, and now it's about preparing for the grind of 162 and make sure you're playing your best ball at the end. A lot like how the Chiefs have talked the past few seasons, right? We're not going to get caught up on a 2-2 start. We know that the real season begins in December. This Royals team understands that Game 1 is just as important as Game 162, but you can't go wild with wins and losses in April because it is a very long season, as we all have learned over the years.
No doubt about it, Vern. Speaking of getting up to 80, 90 pitches, I expect a good quality start on Thursday night at 6 o'clock on the hot stove, 75, 85 pitches.
Sounds good. I'm hoping to have Michael Lorenzen on it. I told you I was hoping to have Sam Long, and then he took a 108-mile-per-hour line drive off of his hand and head. So hopefully he's all right. We'll find out.
Do you think we're going to get to this point in baseball where the L screen is a permanent thing?
No, kid. Come on.
Hey, I wouldn't be able to stand up there. I'd
be scared to death.
BP. Oh, my God. When they throw BP to Bobby Witt Jr., it's like he's doing it on purpose, sending these missiles back up the gut. Yeah. It takes a different kind of courage to stand up there on the hill facing a Bobby, a Salvi, or any of these monsters at the dish.
Yeah, that takes a lot of love for the game. And I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. That's called for.
Wow. I want to know what love is.
That's full circle.
Vern,
thank you again.
Well
Enjoy
done,
Arizona.
Dusty.
All right, boys.
That is Josh Vernier. We do have some breaking news out of the Kansas City Chiefs front. We'll dive right into it on the other side. Stay right here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, you want to know what love is, right? You know what love is, but I'll tell you what, ED can kind of get in the way of that love. Generally, we hear talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues. But today I do want to talk to you about love, because love is the best reason to get treated for ED. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. Heartland Men's Health has treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%, and some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and in North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Sorry to bother you, but this house is a mess. The windows are drafty, the vinyl siding has cracks and holes in it, and the kids just fell through the deck. We need Powell Exteriors KC now. They install James Hardie siding, Provia windows, Renaissance patio products, beautiful decks, roofing, and more, all at 0% interest for 18 months. Go to powellkc.com and see for yourself. Powell Exteriors Casey. The best decision you've made since you married me.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri sign 29 northbound heading towards St. Joseph. Listener reports freeway is all ice. You're shut down at exit 25 around Camden Point. Long delays approaching. Heading into town from Kearney. 35 southbound slow for about 3 miles approaching the merge with 69 highway. Past that, slow down to Cookingham with an accident in the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
All right, when we get news, we break it for you.
That's right.
Diana Rossini, who has labeled me as Big Dust. I didn't make that up. I didn't. Not a lie. She said it. Wonderful lady, by the way. Diana Rossini, wonderful lady.
Friend of the show.
So much. There it is. That's not AI. That's DR.
I wish there was a way you could clip out the beginning part of us talking over and just have the big dust.
Big dust. So here we go. We have some news out of the Chiefs organization. The Kansas City Chiefs, according to Diana Rossini, the Kansas City Chiefs are engaged in trade discussions surrounding four-time Super Bowl champion Joe Thuney, per sources. Chicago is one of those teams that is interested in one Joe Thuney.
Yeah, and it is legit. I talked to a source in the NFL a couple of moments ago about this, and here's what they're thinking about right now. Joe Thuney is going to be 33 years old, right? And in the NFL, we know where that stands. That's the retirement home. That's Kling level, right? You're going to eat there and you're eating your tapioca like Josh, right? That's 33. Joe Thuney wanted an extension. At this point in time, a 33-year-old guard is not going to get an extension from the Chiefs because they can't pay him, they can't pay Creed, and they can't pay Trey Smith. You can't pay all three of those guys. Obviously, Trey is much younger. Creed's already been paid. Those are the two guys you want to pay. So therefore, Joe Thuney becomes an expendable guy. I know for a fact, by talking to people over a while ago with the organization, just constantly having conversations, they love Joe Thuney. They think he's the best, but they got to have cap space right now. They need cap space more than we need water at this point in time, right? He's $17 million. He's 33. It's not going to be the easiest contract in the world to move, but the feeling is inside the league circles, if they can get a fourth or a fifth round pick, then they're going to make that trade for Joe Thuney. So they are in active trade discussions. They're trying to trade the guy. They love the guy, but they can save $17 million and not pay a 33-year-old, and that's where your draft has to come in, whether it's, I don't know, Wanye Morris, whoever's on the roster. Maybe it's that Caliendo guy. They really like what they saw out of Caliendo in the stretch where he had to play, left guard when Thuney was able to be bounced out to left tackle. I know for a fact, just by talking to some people, like, Caliendo really impressed them. So maybe that's the guy they lean to. Maybe he's earned himself a spot on this roster. But the long and the short of it is, yes, they are actively looking to trade Joe Thuney. They're hoping to get a fourth or a fifth round draft pick back, Deebo Samuel type of trade. And if they do trade him and free up that $17 million under the cap, that's good for the organization moving forward. These are the things that happen when you've had this run of success. Eventually, you have to say goodbye to guys, and saying goodbye to a 33-year-old versus a 26-year-old just makes most sense.
Mac, you okay with it?
I think it's great. Yeah, having, 80 whatever million tied up in interior line this year to get rid of some of that, free up some cash for this season, get rid of an aging player while he still attains a lot of value. Joe Thuney, one of his best seasons he ever had.
Yeah, and
trade-wise high.
And the plan potentially could be this as well. Watch for Kingsley to move to guard. I think that was kind of the plan all along, was to move him to guard eventually. So Kingsley Suamataia is a guy that's on the roster right now. He's going to get that option to play that left guard position.
Which is another reason I like it, because if you keep Thuney, that's 2 years of Kingsley not playing at all. At that point, I don't know if you're starting him at left guard.
But this is what good organizations do, right? They don't debate this stuff. This is what the New England Patriots did for 20 years, right? Oh, I love you, Vince Wilfork. Go enjoy Texas. Love you, Mike Vrabel. Go enjoy Kansas City. Love you, Matt Castle. Go enjoy the Chiefs. That's what they were able to do. They always got rid of guys a year, maybe too early, or potentially right on time, versus having a guy that's 33 years old making $17 million going, boy, he's lost a step. And we've got Kingsley, who's making peanuts on the roster that could fit in and be your starting left guard.
Again, the topic is centered around the tweet from Diana Rossini on X. The Kansas City Chiefs are engaged in trade discussions surrounding four-time Super Bowl champion Joe Thuney, per sources. Chicago is one of those teams interested in the two-time All-Pro. Makes sense, right? You got a young quarterback, got sacked a gazillion times last year. Go get somebody that you can afford, and you can put somebody on there. And organization knows organization, right?
Yep.
Polls, Veach, Chiefs, Bears. It's no strangers in the streets there, so it makes sense.
They were rumored with Trey Smith, so now that he's not available, all right, who's your next guy?
Here's Joe Thuney, but they need, it's a logical move to
Makes
Chicago.
sense.
It does. You've got to get that offensive line figured out and figure out a way to make Caleb Williams have an opportunity to try to realize the successes of being that number one draft pick. No guarantees he ever will, but if you never gave him an offensive line, you're going to be kicking yourself and punching yourself in the face going, what the hell did we do here with this guy? We wasted yet another quarterback. This is a smart move by Chicago if they're able to come to fruition and trade with the Chiefs for Joe Thuney. A very smart move for the Bears, and really a smart move by the Chiefs as well. You drafted guys. Brett Veach has been a master at drafting. Let the kids play.
Create a lot of money. Because you know you're going to restructure Mahomes and restructure Kelsey, I would think, which is going to create more money to your cap. You'll have upwards of $30+ million to spend when it comes to the time to go get somebody. I mean, that's just my opinion. We'll see if it happens. Bob's got his sorcery of people that has told you this is a fact, something that is moving, which is what Diana Rossini said. The Chiefs are engaged in moving Joe Thuney, the guard.
That money could be used at left tackle.
And that's the other thing at the left tackle
Or you still got to pay Trey.
Yeah, or Trey.
Or Trey, yeah. Like
Duffy.
It's like when you get your tax refund, right? You've already spent that money. You're just using that tax refund to pay off your credit card that you ran up debt on. Like, the money's already been spent. So, like, ooh, a free $17 million. Yeah, we've already spent that.
We'll bring it back. One word, 913-586-7965. One word describing the Joe Thuney news to you for today. I do want to get into this because you bring up Joe Thuney, you bring up rebuilding this team, the offensive line, and what the Super Bowl was. Obviously, it was utter disaster. But boy, it really makes you roll your eyes when you hear guys say stuff like this, like one Mr. Dion Dawkins said on Ryan Clark's podcast.
With the time, it's like we would have put on a better show in the Super Bowl. We would have put on a better show. And shoot, I am a part of my team. So I think my team is going to put on the best show regardless of anybody performing. We are the ones. We're raw. Quarterback is raw. Our line is raw. D-line is raw. We are the Raws. We put on the best show.
We are the what?
Rawest.
It's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I mean, that's like dumb. You didn't beat the Chiefs, bro. Like, enough.
I hate the whole, like, oh, the Chiefs got blasted in the Super Bowl. We would have put on a much better show. Which, to be fair, that Super Bowl that the Rams played the Patriots when the Patriots, beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, I think the final score was 10-6.
Yeah, like 13-8 or something.
We all sat here and were like, oh, we'd have put up a better show against the Rams.
Right.
Maybe.
But we're not on the team. We're dopey fans.
Yeah, but they didn't beat the Patriots, so they didn't get to have that discussion.
Right.
Your Ross quarterback couldn't get a first down with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left. Your raw tight end dropped a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Your raw team was a little rough when it came to playing that game because the moment got too big. What in the world makes you think that you would have been ready for a Super Bowl where I think Philadelphia would have done what they did to the Chiefs to a lot of other people? That team was playing at a point in the season, like, I
hate saying they were on house money, but they were playing like it, and they were just dominating people.
And yes, was Buffalo's offensive line probably better than the Chiefs? Probably. We didn't have a left tackle. Right? So 4 guys, 1 guy's playing guard, moving to left tackle. But to have that sort of like piss poor attitude to be like, I'm glad that you believe that. But to say that you would have put on a better show, that you would have done better because your team is raw, your quarterback's raw, you're the Ross team, you're not.
No.
You haven't done it in the playoffs, so you don't have that sort of clout to have that sort of attitude. And we can all sit back. You could go play a game of poker, and your buddy folds because he got bluffed out. It's like, I'd have called. Yeah, it wasn't your money in the moment on the line. You don't have the clout to call that action when you say that you would because you simply don't know.
Yeah, the kids today say no cap or cap, right? Like, that's a cap right there with this guy. You got to beat the Chiefs before you can even start talking about being in the Super Bowl.
Dion Dawkins, baby.
And until you win your conference, until you beat the Chiefs, it doesn't matter what you say or what you could have done in the Super Bowl. And we don't know that you would have gone out there in the Super Bowl and put on a better show than what we saw, with the Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles. What we saw with the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles wasn't a great Super Bowl, but it doesn't mean you would have put on a great performance. You still haven't figured out how to beat Kansas City, and your all-world quarterback, as Dusty said, with 3:33 to go, had the ball and had an opportunity to win, and he failed. No cap.
So it has happened.
The trade is official?
It's gone.
Done.
The Chiefs are trading all-pro guard and tackle Joe Thuney to the Bears per multiple sources and reports. Thuney could potentially get an extension from Chicago as part of the deal. That's from Ari Meroff.
Yeah, Ari.
So another one where, like, if that dude's attached, we're going.
Yeah.
Jordan Schultz, Ian Rappaport, where you at? Joe Thuney officially will be traded to the Chicago Bears per multiple sources. Thuney could potentially get an extension from Chicago as part of the deal. Thuney no longer a Chief. In one word, has you feeling blank.
Fine.
Okay. That was quick. So, yeah. Joe
Am I
Thuney.
the only one answering?
No, I mean,
I thought I was waiting for Mac because I know Mac is like, oh, no.
I think I'm open because I'm wanting to know what's, now you don't have a left tackle or a left guard. So now you have 2 holes in your offensive line. I get it. We got a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
We got the greatest GM in the sport. got some time, but I'm open to see what they're going to do. Like you mentioned, is Kingsley going to fill
Kingsley right now is your starting left guard.
Yes.
Okay. So you
not Caliendo.
No, you've got nothing at left tackle right now. You got Kingsley at left guard. You got Creed at center. Most likely Trey at right guard, and then you have what's his name? Juwan Taylor. Taylor at right tackle, right? Okay. So now you've just got to worry about finishing out that left tackle position. And now you've got money to be able to go do that. Does that mean Ronnie Stanley comes here? Would you be okay if the Kansas City Chiefs ended up
his arms?
Well, if you were the Chiefs, right, and you traded Joe Thuney and you're saving now this $17 million under the cap, would you be okay as a fan? Would you feel like you won the day, if you will? Because everybody wants to win the day and win the trade and all this kind of stuff. Would you feel like you won the day if they took that money from Joe Thuney on the savings with Joe Thuney and turned it into Ronnie Stanley and he was now your left tackle going forward? I think that's a win. I do. I like that a lot because obviously the left tackle spot was the biggest weakness on the team, and you just created a spot that was a weakness and turned it potentially into a strength with a guy who's played that left tackle spot, who's been a veteran, around this league, understands how to play in this league. I think that would be a win for Kansas City. But there's no guarantees that that's going to happen either.
Schefter now has it. Compensation update. Bears are trading a 2026 4th-round pick to the Chiefs for Pro Bowl offensive lineman Joe Thuney.
Okay, so they got a 4th-round pick out of the deal, which is good. They wanted a 4th or a 5th in 2 years. Yeah, because they don't have a 4th-round pick this year.
Yeah, so
you get it
2026.
So
next year.
Yeah. But the more important thing is you freed up the money on the salary cap. And that really is because you can tell by the compensation. They're not getting a whole heck of a lot back. Nothing this year. They're getting a 4th-round pick next year back in return for Joe Thuney, but they're freeing up that $17 million, which again is like your tax refund. You've probably already spent it, and that's the money you can use now to pay Trey Smith or potentially go out and get a left tackle.
Like the winter weather advisory has been extended, so has one word. Now that you know all the details, Joe Thuney for a 2026 4th-round pick has you feeling blank. Text line 913-586-7965. Somebody says younger.
Yeah.
Somebody says disappointed, but also understandable. And then somebody says expected. So, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, I feel fine, I guess is what I would say for now.
Yeah, good.
I would have loved a 2025.
Same.
2026 is a little bit deflating.
But it's still a 4th-round pick, and do you expect the Bears to be good this year? Probably not great this year. So you get a nice 4th-round pick next year, right?
Somebody from the text line says, if Kingsley was so good.
And if this draft is so bad this year, like everybody's telling us it is, isn't it better maybe to keep it for next year?
And free agency's not that great either.
Right.
If Kingsley was so good, why wasn't he starting left guard when Thuney was at left tackle?
Yeah, because he probably wasn't ready to.
And he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so that's what I could say.
Yeah, because he came in as a left tackle and was a rookie and practiced as a tackle all season.
Yeah, and he didn't have success, obviously, over there. So what do you want to do? You want to get this guy to a point where he has success.
Let's get his mentals right.
Right, exactly. You nailed it. You sound like me now. My God, you've been around me too long.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. But that's exactly what it is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. You give this guy the opportunity to kind of catch his breath a little bit, because what if he did go to left guard last year when Thuney bounced outside and didn't have success there? Now you've ruined this kid mentally at 2 positions.
Yeah, exactly. I'm optimistic. I would say curious would be my one word. I think I like Kingsley at left guard. Yeah, the left tackle position is where I'm at. I don't know. Ronnie Stanley doesn't get me super excited.
What would, though, in where we are right now? Because that, yes, you're 100% right.
Joe Alt.
Now that would be okay.
I'm just being a jerk.
But that's like, all right, I'll go take my pants off and burn a dart in the hallway. I don't care. Right?
Exactly.
Like if somehow
Sir,
they got
there's no
Joe
smoking. We just got Joe Alt, son of John Alt. You know that guy? Used to be chief. Sir, there's no smoking. Get out of my face.
Yeah. Put your pants on. I'm not going to. We just got Joe Alt. But no. But I mean, like, this is where we are right now, right? It's like if you, like, I don't know, maybe a bad example is you're trying to go out for dinner, you didn't make the right reservations, and so you're stuck with like a lesser of restaurants. It's still decent enough, but it's not what you want. That's kind of where the Chiefs are right now. We told you, a week and a half ago or whatever it was, the draft sucks for left tackles. Free agency's not that much better, right? So, yes, Ronnie Stanley is a nice left tackle. Would you like to do better? Sure, we'd all like to do better. But if that's your best option right now, then go with it, right?
From the 785, cooked. We don't have a left tackle and we don't have a left guard.
You do realize the league year is not starting until a week from today, right?
Somebody says,
and we do have a left guard. Kingsley.
We do.
Somebody says, feeling good. Call it a B.
Okay.
Somebody says, DJ Humphries is ready in the building, is already in the building. Use him and don't waste the extra money on Stanley.
Yep. I'm there.
Who never played a full season until last year.
That's where I'm at.
I still think DJ Humphries is your left tackle.
Same.
We said that a couple days ago.
Cheaper.
So, yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have? One word to describe the Joe Thuney news. He is now going to be a Chicago Bear for a 4th-round pick in 2026. Just got exposed. Like Bob smoking a cigarette with pants down in the hallway at the Odyssey building.
The 417 says, I feel Vici.
Which is a good thing.
I like that.
I'm
I
feeling
smell
Vici.
a T-shirt. I'm feeling Vici.
Somebody else says this from the 417. Understandable. But a great chief, the MVP of this year, maybe a Ring of Honor guy, won't be, but opens up some possibilities.
He put well, come on.
He was here for 3 years.
Yeah, you can't put everybody in the Ring
I mean,
of
he was
Honor.
great. He won the Derek Thomas Award this
If
year.
they win that 3-peat and he's left tackle, he's Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
I don't know.
He's the MVP of the 3-peat season. If they win, I would. But it's irrelevant right now. I get it. We don't need to start.
Yeah, we can't put everybody in the
That's
Ring
fair.
of Honor.
It's, you're right.
There's been a lot of good players and great players in this generation. I mean, you're gonna have to build a new stadium to get all these guys in the Ring of Honor. And I'm being serious about
that's
that.
true.
Like it's the new stadium will probably have some sort of Ring of Honor and Hall of Fame and all that kind of great stuff that they need to do. But I mean, you start listing the guys who can be on this Ring of Honor right now. I would tell you the long snapper has more of an option of being in the Ring of Honor than Joe Thuney does. James Winchester had been here the whole time. The kicker is going to be in the Ring of Honor. I think the quarterback may have a chance.
Somebody says from the 262 and Beach We Trust, making trades and winning rings. In the words of Mark Twain, the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated. Making moves to continue the dynasty.
That's exactly right. I
Respect
love
it.
that, man. That's a great text right there. You're quoting Twain. You're bringing realism to it. You got the understanding of what's going on. That's a dialed-in fan. I love that text.
I thought it was Samuel Clemens. From the 816, the first domino to fall. The restructure of the roster will be fascinating. Veach is cooking up something. Sucks, but part of sustaining the dynasty.
See, I love it. People are kind of on board now and get it. 5 years ago, everybody's losing their collective minds over this kind of thing. I think people have realized, the sane fan, which, fan is short for fanatic, but the sane fan realizes we trade Tyreek Hill and went to 3 straight Super Bowls. We'll be okay without Joe Thuney.
And the last one, to bring in one word to describe the Joe Thuney to the Bears trade, thinner. On the line and on the wallet.
I don't know. Kingsley's thinner than him.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Kingsley's, he's meant to be a tackle. He's a big guy.
And then somebody said from the 816, Trey Smith is a chief. That's all you need to know.
Well, and see, these are the things, though. This is the trickle-down effect. We all want Trey. Nobody's denying that. But something else is going to have to give in order to get what you want. It's like when you're a kid and your parents say, what do you want? I want this, 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 this. Okay, you can only have 2 of these, so pick the 2 best that you want. And then you make, oh, my God, I don't know. Do I want chicken and turkey? Or do I just want the beef? Like you're going through, you don't know what to do. And you got to make these right decisions. You got to make these tough decisions sometimes. And look, Brett Veach is basically every decision he's made has been good, right? I mean, very rare has he made a bad decision roster-wise with this team. If he's telling us that he's trading this guy and they're moving on from Joe Thuney and Kingsley's going to be the left guard and we're going to go out and get a left tackle and pay Trey Smith, who are we to debate it, right?
From the 785, LOL. No one at this radio station ever mentioned Kingsley at guard before Veach did 2 weeks ago on Cody and Gold. Let's not act like Kingsley's succeeding. Why break up the best interior 3 in football? From the 316, money and age. From the 402, Brett nails it. He gets it. Can't have 2 highly paid guards. Then from the 816, realism is realizing that Veach has had 1 good draft. You guys thinking Veach is something he's not. Okay. And with that, we will go to break because that's probably the worst text I've seen in a while.
That may be the worst text the station's ever gotten.
And I'll take a martini, shaken, not stirred. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 965, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
Got a phone call from my buddy Joe yesterday, and he goes, hey, I forgot to tell you something. I'm like, what? He goes, do you realize the wings at Smokehouse Barbecue are the best on planet Earth? I said, yes, I've been telling you that for generations now, how good the wings at Smokehouse Barbecue are. They are smoked to perfection. They are tossed in the Cajun butter sauce, and then you dip them in that homemade ranch dressing. And he said to me, he goes, I got to tell you something. He goes, the ranch smokehouse wing combination may be the best flavor combination I've ever had. And he nailed it yet again. That flavor combination of those wings that are smoked, like I said, to perfection, tossed in the Cajun butter sauce, then dipped in their homemade ranch dressing. It doesn't get much better than that. Oh, and they've got the sweet zing wing now as well. Smokehouse Barbecue is perfect for all occasions. You need to cater an event. You've got some, spring events coming up with graduation parties. Let Smokehouse Barbecue cater those as well for you. Now, check them out at one of their 3 locations, Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. And make sure you try their new pork belly burnt ends as well. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Wait. Skechers put the S in comfort?
Yes, comfort you have to feel to believe. Skechers, we put the S in comfort.
Let me try. Okay, I'm just stepping in and... Oh, wow. Skechers put the S in comfort.
Duh. We told you.
Find Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow. Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. Contact my friend Dawn Sharp if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Dawn and her team are brokered by Epic Realty, and they've sold over 150 homes in the last 12 months alone. Plus, they can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can do that with their instant offer program. Google them at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleinkc.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by the technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. On the Missouri side, 29 northbound shut down, heading towards St. Joseph around exit 25. They're now routing folks through the rest area, but about 3 miles of slow traffic approaching still. Heading from Kearney into town, 35 southbound slow for about 4 miles, approaching the merge with 69 highway. Past that, it doesn't improve a whole lot. That's still clearing up an accident around Cookingham. Money back guarantees and parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you are securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule your complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Breaking news if you missed it, the Kansas City Chiefs have decided to trade Joe Thuney to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick in 2026. Now I've been told to argue with the texters, so allow me to do that. Let me talk to you. Realism is realizing that Veach has one good draft. You guys thinking Veach is something he's not. He's had one good draft, LOL, and overpaid average players. Then argue it, Dusty. Then argue it, Bob. I'm waiting on all of you to tell me what draft he had that was a good outside of the Creed draft.
They have 3 Super Bowl championships. This has been the general manager and been there 5.
Here's a draft class for you that didn't have Creed Humphrey in it, I don't believe. Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Brian Cook, Leo Chenal. Many people, not just this blowhard Dusty Likens, damn glad to meet you, said that was the steal of the draft and Trent McDuffie and that the Chiefs nailed their draft. Also, if you're going to bring up that he doesn't sign players that are, or he does sign useless players, let's talk about the hits that he's had in the draft first. L'Jarius Sneed, Isaiah Pacheco, Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis. Shall I continue?
If you're
going to bring that
Trey
up.
Smith in the 6th round. Creed Humphrey.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, that was Dorsey.
No, it was Veach. He
Go read the
scouted him for 2
stories.
years.
The other thing I will tell you is that the year that they did not decide to pay Tyreek Hill, they won 3 Super Bowls in a row, and after they did so, they led the league in every offensive statistic category, and Patrick Mahomes won MVP. So if you really are this angry and you don't believe that Brett Veach has changed your franchise, go back and listen to the show. We talked about 08 to 2012 Kansas City Chiefs, where he was not the GM, and where the Kansas City Chiefs are. So you can be negative, you can tell me to argue with you, but I'm giving you the facts. You have 3 Super Bowls in your trophy case at one Arrowhead Drive that did not exist until Brett Veach got here.
You have 4 Super Bowls, and Brett Veach has been the general manager for 3 of those championships. He's also taken you to 5 Super Bowls. If you were on the text line this morning complaining about Brett Veach, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Take a deep breath. First of all, put the car keys down because you're in no shape to drive. Second of all, go back home, lock yourself in a room, and stay there until you get a brain.
And the people that want to say that Veach didn't draft Mahomes. Okay, Dorsey was the GM, but it was Veach that flew to Texas Tech. It was Veach that got there first. It was Veach that sent him to Andy Reid. And then who took over as general manager? It was Brett Veach.
There's a reason they made Brett Veach the general manager of this team, and they didn't go out and try to find somebody else because they knew everything that Brett Veach was doing behind the scenes. He was also the lead scout for the SEC for, I think, the Eagles at one point, and then came over to Philadelphia, or to Kansas City, and still had that same kind of deal. So he was also scouting the best conference in college football, which contributes to the best players in college football. I just don't understand how somebody can wake up in the morning and think that Brett Veach hasn't done a great job here in Kansas City. And then I'll ask you your question as well. Do you do 100% at your job every day? Are you perfect and are you the best every single day? No, people make mistakes. It happens, especially when it comes to evaluating other human beings that play a sport. Sometimes you swing and miss. The greatest of all time have swung and missed probably more than they've connected. Those are just the odds that you're dealing with right now. And if you ask who the best general manager in the history of the NFL is, I don't know the answer to that question. Best in baseball, I don't know the answer to that question. But I do know that they've all had misses, and I do know that they've all had big-time misses, and they've had big-time hits. Misses happen. You're not going to hit on every pick. But the fact that we're even addressing this makes me just sick to my stomach that we have ungrateful people out there that don't appreciate what Brett Veach has done for this organization, and losing a 33-year-old guard that wanted an $18 million a year extension is the right thing to do, is to trade him. That's a smart business decision, and you've drafted younger players that can move in and take over that spot. And again, if you are really that upset with Brett Veach, stop driving because you're in no shape to drive and go lock yourself in a room till you get a brain.
And the thing is that it's business as one point, but the other part too is that it's like they continue to say 48 players, 8 players hit. Dorsey coordinated the trade and made the pick. The reason he made the trade is because the guy that was his understudy that was eventually going to take over, who can handle a roster. Okay, so we're going to have this conversation with Dorsey. Why is Dorsey not here? Because he didn't know who to pay. Where you're the one saying
and
that Brett
when
Veach
to pay
does,
them.
And yeah, when to pay. And then you're the one saying, well, Dusty, Brett Veach doesn't pay the right players. Brett Veach has got 3 Super Bowls here because of roster construction, roster management. Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, coordinated a trade to get Charvarius Ward. Was not him, but he got these corners in late rounds. Didn't want to bring up the Charvarius Ward. That's my bad. I'll take that loss. But Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, those corners drafted by Veach that were on other people's boards, but Brett Veach moved up to get Trent McDuffie. Okay? The reason that Dorsey had the stones to be able to move up is because it played right into the scenario that Brett Veach had created. He's the one that went to Texas Tech. You can go ask Lee Steinberg, who's Patrick Mahomes' agent. I could get his other agent on the phone line, met him at Radio Row, know his wife, good friend of mine from high school. He'll tell you the same thing. It was Veach that found Mahomes. It's just because he wasn't titled the general manager who would then get fired and then Veach would take over. How many Super Bowls did John Dorsey win?
No, he didn't win any.
How many did Brett Veach win?
5. Well, he went to 5, but 1, 3. But also, too, why do we do this where we give the low-hanging fruit and the vocal minority?
Because they asked me to argue, so I did. I don't back away from a challenge.
I know, but I mean, come on.
And I get to the text, I was like, why are you entertaining this people?
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
That's kind of where I am at this point in time. Like, if you don't understand what Brett Veach has done and how he has made this franchise the best in the NFL, and obviously not just him, but Andy Reid and Clark Hunt, everybody together has turned this into the best franchise in the NFL. If you can't realize that, I got to be honest. Like, I just don't have the time to talk to you because it's just going to be one of those conversations that makes me mad, and you're never going to understand it because you think you're smarter than everybody else in the room. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are doing nothing but winning championships and going to 7 straight AFC championship games. So I got to be honest with you. I'm not that interested in what you have to say.
I also want to know
if you're attacking Brett Veach and you don't think he's doing a good job as general manager because your opinion is a fool's opinion and it doesn't make sense.
I want to know if these people are actually Chiefs fans. Because if you are, then I have no respect for you. If you're not, I get why you're coming from this side. Because somebody else from the 816, Trent McDuffie isn't that good. He's undersized slot corner at best.
They don't throw to his side of the field. He's eliminated half the field.
So again, I can't help some people. If you're not a Chiefs fan, then I get it. That's why you're coming from this
angle. But also,
angle.
why are you listening if you're not a Chiefs fan? Because, I mean, this is Kansas City, and I understand maybe you moved in from Denver and you're pissed because your Broncos suck. But, I mean, like, I don't understand, like, if you're listening to us talk about the Chiefs and you're getting mad and you're not a Chiefs fan and it's really bothering you, go find something else to do, man. Seriously. Like, I'm too old for this kind of crap.
I mean, I just thought everybody was happy in Chiefs Kingdom. I mean, you didn't.
How could you not be?
You didn't have a playoff win in or you didn't have a home playoff win in 30 years?
I mean,
didn't have a quarterback for 30 years? Everything's great now? It's fun?
I was thinking about it yesterday, and it just kind of hit me as we were kind of looking back on that 09 to 12 kind of range. Last year, the Royals and the Chiefs both made it to the postseason. The Royals made it to the ALDS. The Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. And people are waking up on a snow-filled morning with complaints coming out of their pores about things that are going on because we lost a 33-year-old guard.
This is what they get to listen to now.
Well, we're living here in Brett Veach town. Without him, Patrick is not around. Out at Arrowhead, they're winning games, throwing touchdowns, holding parades. And Travis is catching the ball, dropping dimes.
We'll let it play out. Nick
Tariq
Taylor of The Athletic will join us on the other side at 9 o'clock. I bet he likes Brett Veach.
From Chris Jones, Ty's making plays. We need more parades, and we're living here in Brett Veach town.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
I just want to say how awesome it is to have Bob Fescoe and Legend Likens on every morning to start my day. I freaking love you guys.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Well, Missouri sports fans, I've got great news for you because right now the Underdog app is available to play in your state. Like today, like right now, like this moment, the Underdog app is available to play in Missouri. And Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play now in Missouri. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times your money? You can with Underdog. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats, or points, assists, rebounds, goals. If you're doing hockey, it doesn't matter. All the stats are available. All the teams are available. All the leagues are available, and all the stars are available to choose from as well. You can create entries with all basketball selections or mix and match across other sports. And you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So turn $1 into 1,000 just with your sports knowledge. Download the Underdog app like I did and sign up now using the promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code BOB. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Some things just go together, like peanut butter and jelly, or a Casey's spicy chicken sandwich and a 49-cent medium fountain drink, or a Casey's breakfast sandwich and a 49-cent fountain drink, or even Casey's limited time Italian deli sliders and a 49-cent fountain drink. You get the idea. It's not crazy. It's Casey's. See store for details.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bank all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
College basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets and even who's cutting down the nets. If you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time. The app's easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/Alex and get on the college hoops action before March takes over. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Sometimes it feels like the world is moving at hyperspeed and you can't keep up because it's one thing then another. And don't forget the meeting and the yoga class and the dinner reservation. But then you get into the all-new Nissan Murano and you feel the breeze from the panoramic moonroof while the massaging seats melt away the tension of the day. And you realize that sometimes the greatest rush is not rushing at all. Shop the all-new Murano at nissanusa.com. Panoramic moonroof massaging leather appointed seats are available features.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Royals coverage sponsored by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
For over 36 years, Metal by the Foot has been your source for steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. Located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
29 northbound on the Missouri side, heading towards St. Joseph. Accident at exit 25 has you shut down. They're routing folks to the rest area. 2.5 miles of slow traffic approaching. Heading into town from Kearney, about 4 miles of slowdowns. 35 southbound. Approaching the merge of 69 highway. Stays heavy down to Missouri 152 with an earlier accident. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
The Royals Roundtable with Michael Massey, Kyle Isbell, and Josh Fernier. Friday, March 28th, starting at 6 o'clock at Hollywood Casino. Your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Back here on Fescoe and Dusty, 96.5 The Fan. Mac, Dusty, Bob with you. Breaking news out of the NFL involving your Kansas City Chiefs. They have traded left guard Joe Thuney to the Chicago Bears for a 2026 fourth-round pick.
You said that, and I thought you said the North Kansas City Chiefs. Which just makes me laugh. There's some Royals trade rumors out there as well, potentially. So we'll see if any of that comes to fruition. They're trying to get a bat. The name Starling Marte has kind of been floated out there. Does that do anything?
Not really.
36 years old with the Mets right now. There's a little bit of smoke. I'll let you know if there's a little fire a little bit later on. But so here we sit. The Chiefs make a trade. Maybe the Royals are going to make a trade. Get that outfield figured out. Could be a wheeling and dealing day in Kansas City.
We're now joined by Nate Taylor of The Athletic. Thank you so much, Nate, for coming on out of nowhere. But again, I want you to give the people what you think with your expertise, your ability. What does this trade mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? Win, loss? How do they go on from this?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you do not make this trade unless you have a clear idea as to what you're doing with the offensive line. So I'll try to make it quick. Trey Smith, more than likely, going to be the highest paid right guard. It was only 2 years ago that Joe Thuney was the highest paid left guard. But Joe Thuney is the oldest member of the Chiefs offensive line. You could argue he is one of the more valuable pieces outside of Creed Humphrey. But due to his age, due to the fact that you've got to figure out left tackle, this is the conclusion that the Chiefs have come to. This is just step one in a multi-step plan. And my belief as of right now is you are going to look at an offensive line that could potentially be, for the 2025 season, someone who is not currently on the roster at left tackle, Kingsley Suamataia at left guard, obviously Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith at center and right guard, and Jawan Taylor more than likely, and I know this has been speculated on, more than likely staying at right tackle. So with all of this being done, it's unfortunate for the Chiefs that you cannot get both cap relief in terms of $16 million that you clear for Trey Smith's type of deal, and you get a draft pick for this upcoming draft. Instead, you have to wait a year because of Joe Thuney's age, because the Bears will likely give him a 2 to 3 year extension on their part to secure him long-term to help Caleb Williams throughout the course of his rookie deal. So there's a lot of moving parts in all of this, but if you're really going to fix left tackle, you have to make a move like this. And I will just put it very simply in this terms. Who is the younger player at guard? The younger player is Trey Smith. He stays. unfortunately, Joe Thuney moves on to Chicago.
Yeah, and you know, you have to do those type of things, but these are the hard decisions that happen seemingly every year, you know, with teams around the NFL. We saw it happen right here with Tyreek Hill, and they went on to 3 straight Super Bowls. Like, to me, I'm like, okay, this is the next move that has to be made, and I'm about my day. There are still some people out there that are breathing, shockingly, that think Brett Veach hasn't done a great job here in Kansas City. What do you tell those people?
I would just tell these people that, you know, the season moves faster than you realize, guys, and then it moves even faster than that in the off season. This is just an acknowledgement of the way the NFL works. You know, one team really, really needs interior offensive line play. One team was telling your team, ladies and gentlemen, that they were going to sign Trey Smith to a massive contract. So one way you can mitigate that is don't even let this man get the free agency. And that's the thing that I didn't quite calculate myself in terms of, you know, who I was talking to in the reporting. Why would you franchise tag a right guard, you know, who's 25 and is, you know, only missed 1 game in his career and is really durable, excellent teammate, really good in run blocking, getting better in pass protection? Well, it's like, well, it's because either the Chicago Bears or the New England Patriots were playing for Trey Smith. So again, you have to make tough decisions when you're trying to contend year after year after year. It obviously helps to have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But for Brett Veach, you've got to figure out left tackle. And they tried it in the draft last year, which means you might not want to do that this year.
Right.
But also, you've got to get some sort of cap relief because the Chiefs, before this trade today, had no money in terms of trying to have actual space in the salary cap sheet to acquire perhaps a left tackle in free agency or through a trade. So you have to think about all these things. And despite the fact that Joe Thuney will one day be in Canton in the Hall of Fame, he's been to 6 Super Bowls, kids. He's won 4 of them.
Right.
They just understand that reinvesting in a 33-year-old left guard was not going to be the best plan, not just for 2025, but obviously for 2026 and 2027. And I think the Chiefs understand, too, that, like, they need to really find if Kingsley Suamataia is going to be a serviceable starting lineman in this league. And they've moved on from him at left tackle, but he still should have the athleticism and obviously the youth and the skill set to be pretty good at guard. Well, the only way you're going to know that is if you play him, and so you're taking on a rookie contract while also adding the biggest contract that's ever been handed out to a right guard. You need balance, and there's no way you could pay all 3 of these guys, even though all 3, Joe Thuney, Trey Smith, and Creed Humphrey, were obviously one of the best at their positions in the entire NFL. You've maximized that as much as you could for 3 years because Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey were on rookie deals. They are no longer on rookie deals. So Joe Thuney has to be traded.
So how do you view the left tackle position now, Nate? Because the draft sucks. Let's just call it what it is. How do you expect them to fix that left tackle spot?
They are going to try to re-sign. I should say not re-sign. They're going to try to sign Ronnie Stanley. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This is it.
Yes.
This is it, kids. Cam Robinson, get out my face. You know, this is an all-in move, and that isn't to say that this is going to work necessarily. Ronnie Stanley could obviously go back to Baltimore. Baltimore now knows this, right? You can only hold your cards for so long.
But you can't franchise him now.
You cannot.
How about that little move? Hey, how about that? But let's just keep everything quiet. Franchise tags are done. Trade this guy, sign Ronnie Stanley. Screw you, Baltimore.
And let's have a bake-off. Let's really do this thing. I mean, I by the way, I just love that you understand exactly what I'm saying,
Yes.
and that therefore we can inform my beloved hometown. I can inform everybody that look, you know, it was cool. There were some options, right? I do not want to pronounce this young man's name because I'm going to get it wrong. The young man who just re-signed in Los Angeles with the Rams, right? He was kind of, you know, on the radar.
Right.
Hey, you know, Cam Robinson, young-ish, but, you know, hasn't necessarily worked out. There's a reason why he's at free agency to this point. And so, hey, who's the best left tackle available not named DJ Humphries? That is Ronnie Stanley. They will try to make a move. They will try to make an effort. I don't know if it's going to be successful or not. But, again, I don't know what that. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what that contract is because again, we are now officially in a bake-off with the Baltimore Ravens. If you consider that, so it's wild. I want to make this very clear, ladies and gentlemen. The Chiefs just traded a Hall of Fame player away. Okay, and we're going to find out if Kingsley Suamataia can play at the NFL level at a high enough level to be valuable enough for a second-round pick. Even though that second-round pick has somewhat been devalued because he's not playing a premier position, but if you think Ronnie Stanley can play, I don't know, 15, 16 games next season, that's your easiest, shortest path towards a solution at left tackle. And if you're going to pay Trey Smith and not let him get to the free agent market, boy, it would be quite the double dip to ensure that the most coveted offensive lineman stayed on your roster in Trey Smith, and you also got the best left tackle available once, as you said, Bob, you cannot franchise tag anyone,
right?
Because it's no longer Tuesday.
So let me ask you this though: do you think they make this move with Thuney if they don't think they're going to get Ronnie Stanley?
Great question.
Thank you.
I still think they make that move. There was some thought, and I understand this, and this was even presented to Brett Veach at the Combine. Hey, Joe Thuney, Hall of Famer, he can play left tackle suitably for multiple weeks. Hey, you gonna extend him? You gonna reward him? And that did not happen. So if you're not gonna, look, there's multiple avenues. You could have extended Joe Thuney for I don't know. You could have given him a 2-year extension. You would have ate some money in the end of it. But hey, he's still a very, very good player, even though he's aging towards 34, 35, yada, yada, yada. Well, if you're not going to do that, because I think Clark Hunt has made it very clear, dead money, no money. No. This is not how we're going to do these things. Much like the Patriots, you would rather be a year early than a year late, while also not having dead money on your cap sheet for 2025 or 2026. And if I get an additional pick, even if it's a year later, again, I got out of the deal a year earlier. So it's, again, I know some Chiefs fans are like, well, what about the compensation, Nate? What in God's name is a 2026 4th-round pick? And I'm like, look, man, he's 33. And you got to clear him to pay Trey Smith. So if you weren't paying Trey Smith, then, yeah, you might get a little bit more on the trade market. I still think they do this deal because I think they still value Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith with the understanding that, look, Jawan Taylor's on a prove-it year, basically, based on his contract. Again, if you are somehow able to sign Ronnie Stanley, okay, well, then you have him for the next 2 years, theoretically, right? And by that time, Kingsley Suamataia will tell you whether or not he's a guard or not. And also, it's easier to replace a guard, as we saw, even with Joe Thuney last year, where it's like, hey, do you call Mike Caliendo back and say, look, you are a serviceable backup. If something were to happen with either Trey Smith or Kingsley, you will slide right back into where you were last year, and we could still be a functional offense. These are all the questions and the decisions that you have to go through. It's extremely difficult, but it's time to buy Ronnie Stanley multiple dinners, multiple drinks, because it's going to take a lot, I believe, to get him to leave Baltimore to join Kansas City. But if you think that's the best path forward, you can't be hesitant. You got to be bold and you got to shoot your shot, and that's what the Chiefs are doing, while also helping out a good friend in Ryan Poles with the Chicago Bears, because they can take on Joe Thuney's contract. They can even add more years onto it because Caleb Williams is still on his rookie deal.
Well, Nate, we appreciate it. I'm sorry the NFL never sleeps. I never get any time off, but we appreciate the time, and we'll just dive in as more and more trades and acquisitions happen with this Kansas City Chiefs team. So we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, anytime, fellas.
Nate Taylor, we appreciate the time. That is him there joining us here on the station on 96.5 The Fan. We'll dive more into what this move means and what we could see for maybe the future of the Kansas City Chiefs. You listen to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home, Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
913-586-7965. Call in right now and tell me how much I suck.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's snowing outside right now, but before you know it, like this weekend, the sun's going to be out. You're going to see your yard, and you're going to go, oh, my gosh, what happened over the winter? I need help. And that's kind of what I've been saying for the last couple of years now. We need help with our lawn more than anybody could even imagine. And I'm waving the white flag, and I'm calling Aspen Lawn and Pest Control to take care of that bed of weeds that we have out front that we've been calling a lawn for the last couple of years. You see, when you take down these big trees, well, they got roots underneath, and they just continue to suck all that water out of our lawn, and we're like, we just don't know what to do anymore. So we're calling the professionals who went to college, who have degrees in making sure your lawn looks awesome. That's what Aspen Lawn and Pest Control is all about. I love the fact that they're going to take care of the backyard, too. Keep those pests out so we can enjoy the outside all spring and summer long. And at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, they get the job done right the first time. You see those iconic blue trucks. They're everywhere in Kansas City. And you know what's behind those trucks? The best lawns you'll ever see. They have been providing award-winning services since 1985, and they offer full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. Right now, if you mention this ad, you'll get a free estimate and up to half off your first application. So don't wait. Call them today or visit aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Heartland Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Kick off the Royals season with 96.5 The Fan at Hollywood Casino. Join us for an exclusive 96.5 The Fan roundtable featuring Michael Massey, Josh Vernier, and other special guests on March 28th at 6 p.m. Don't miss your chance to get insider insights before the season begins.
Mom, I need to lay low for a few days.
Lay low? What's going on?
I only paid for this Hyundai Tucson.
Christopher Allen Lynch.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you want at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Right now, get 2.99% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Santa Fe, Tucson, or Elantra. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. Offers end March 31st. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What would you do if you could go back in time with the tap of a button?
Watch the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids?
How'd they do it?
Buy enough Bitcoin to purchase your very own private island.
Or maybe just skip the joke that flopped at the holiday party.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to rewind time. But you can rewind live shows with the free Odyssey app.
Never miss your favorite sports talk again. To get started, download Odyssey and search for your station.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Sorry to bother you, but this house is a mess. The windows are drafty, the vinyl siding has cracks and holes in it, and the kids just fell through the deck. We need Powell Exteriors KC now. They install James Hardie siding, Provia windows, Renaissance patio products, beautiful decks, roofing, and more, all at 0% interest for 18 months. Go to PowellCasey.com and see for yourself. Powell Exteriors Casey. The best decision you've made since you married me.
Today, expect light snow followed by partly sunny skies with a high of 37.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Once again, shout out to Nate Taylor for joining the show. Dusty, why the hell was Nate Taylor on your show at 9 o'clock on March 5th? Because the Chiefs traded Joe Thuney to the Bears.
And the NFL just never sleeps.
No, it doesn't, man.
I mean, Burns said it earlier when we had him on at 8. He goes, eventually the NFL is going to take the summer away from baseball.
Have they not?
No, because they do shut down from like June 15th to July 15th, where like literally nothing does go on for them.
Players go on their
everybody's away on
month off.
vacation, and like they legitimately take their month off.
When do we get that? December?
Some people who believe that, back in the day when they worked here, when the station first started, that when football wasn't going on, they were off as well, quickly realized that just wasn't the case. Ask Josh sometime about working with some former NFL guys. It was the bye week. They just didn't show up to work. What do you mean you didn't show up to work? What's the bye week?
This is from Spot Track on Twitter, NFL Trade. Bears acquire offensive lineman Joe Thuney. 2025, $6 million. 2026, UFA. Chiefs acquire 2026 fourth-round pick. KC takes on $10.9 million of dead cap space, or dead cap per the move, freeing up $16 million of space. $2 million of Thuney's salary fully guaranteed March 14th, but a $20 million plus per year extension is widely expected. That right there is where Veach was out.
Yeah, and that's exactly where he was out.
34, more money. We got to figure out, what's going to help us out in the long run. I was talking to Mac during the break, like Chase Brown being a dynasty sort of running back. And when you're building dynasties, you have to think of longevity. Would Joe Thuney be amazing last year? Correct. But 1 year of Thuney as of no more years of 2 or 3 other players and no left tackle, I mean, unless you trust in DJ Humphries, then that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think it's the right move to make. And these are the hard moves that I think, people don't seemingly understand. But at this point in time, if you don't understand what Brett Veach and this organization is doing, you just haven't been watching. I mean, this is par for the course. This is MO. He's not going to be the last guy traded. He obviously wasn't the first guy traded that you knew. Obviously, Tyreek Hill got traded this offseason. But it doesn't make business sense at this whatever.
Where's he at now?
He could have,
No doubt.
But like this is what's going to happen. And the Chiefs didn't miss a beat. And if they didn't miss a beat by losing Tyreek Hill, who will go down as the organization's all-time greatest receiver until Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy step up and beat him.
He's going to miss some games next year.
I heard that.
Rice,
Yeah. But, Tyreek Hill at this point in time is the greatest wide receiver in franchise history, and the team didn't miss a beat. They're going to be okay by trading Joe Thuney. It's more important to me to have the money available to use it either to A, pay Trey Smith, or B, go out and get Ronnie Stanley. And that's why we were talking with Nate Taylor, and I said, is this move predicated on the fact that they believe they have Ronnie Stanley already done to come be the left tackle in Kansas City? Because people can say what they want about, the tampering period and free agency and the league year begins. Essentially the league year begins Monday morning, right? That's when the legal tampering can begin. That's when true free agency begins. But if you don't think the agents and GMs and people are having conversations, like that's why they go to the scouting combine. They're not there to watch the players. They're there to lay the groundwork for the next 3 weeks, basically, of what's going to happen in the NFL. And if you're Brett Veach and you accidentally bump into the agent for Ronnie Stanley and you share a shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's with him and you're sitting there talking, what's it going to take? This is what he wants. And if you can do this, he'll sign with you. Well, then you got to start finding ways to make that possible. And the first one is trading Joe Thuney to free up that money when you've drafted a guy that you believe in. Whether I believe in Kingsley, whether Mac does, Binkley, Dusty, any of us, if they believe that Kingsley is ready to go and he's their guy at left guard, then that's what they're going to do, and they're going to allocate those funds elsewhere to improve a position on the field that, quite frankly, hasn't been great since Eric Fisher left this organization. And so if that's the plan, How can you not be good with that? Even if that's not the plan, you needed to free this money to pay the other guard who is 7 years younger than Joe Thuney is right now and just entering the prime of his career.
Yeah, the Bears now have Braxton Jones at left tackle, Joe Thuney at left guard, no center, Jonah Jackson at right guard, Darnell Wright at right tackle. They're doing exactly what they need to do.
Yes.
Right? Both teams are doing what they need to do for their quarterback.
Right.
Right? The Bears need veteran proof to give Caleb Williams the protection and the, I guess you could say, the mental part of the game where he can feel trusted and knows that he can do his talent can show if he has time to throw.
Yeah.
Whereas Patrick Mahomes is well past that.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes is looking to continue to collect rings, and the way you do that is to solidify his offensive line so where that he can also not have to worry about where he's going to have to go, because the Super Bowl was a disaster.
It was, and we all know that. And the last time the offensive line was a disaster in the Super Bowl, they went out and they fixed the entire offensive line, and they brought in new players. We all know the story. He did fantastically. We all know how that story played out, right? And so this is what happens, man. Like, this is par for the course. Go back and look at the most devastating losses, if you will, of the Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes era when they have occurred. And when they've occurred, they've gone out there and they've directly fixed the problem. You guys would be livid this morning if they didn't go out and fix the offensive line and make changes on the offensive line. Now they're doing that, and you got some people with their head in the clouds that just don't have a clue as to what's gone on. Just because somebody's a name and you're familiar with them doesn't mean they're the best person for that job in professional sports anymore.
Right.
And not to say anything negative, this is not a negative Joe Thuney thing. This is what was best for the organization to give them the ability to get better overall as an organization.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the classic one, which is this is best for business. Like,
yeah, but,
that's the way this sport works.
Right.
If you want to,
you want a salary cap? We got it. These are the ills of the salary cap. Baseball, meanwhile,
right. Otherwise, if you're the Dodgers, you just have Trent Williams, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Joe Alt,
and you defer all their money until 20 million zero or whatever it is,
until they can't walk.
Right.
And that's the thing about football is that the best teams in the history of the game make the toughest decisions that work out the best.
And those are the smartest ones, and there really hasn't been many of those. It's really, Dusty, for the most part, been the Patriots and the Chiefs. That's it. You have not seen enough teams brave enough, and I will use that term, brave enough, to make moves like the Patriots and the Chiefs have made over the last 25 years. From Vince Wilfork being kicked to the curb in Boston, to Mike Vrabel being kicked to the curb, even Bill Belichick being kicked to the curb at some point in time. Tom Brady, you have to be willing to make these tough moves to keep your organization moving forward. And the teams that aren't willing to make these tough moves and cave to the peer pressure of the text line or of X, formerly Twitter, or whatever the case may be, those are the teams that lose. Like, if Jerry Jones was really smart, you never would have paid Dak Prescott any money. So you've got to be willing. If the Dolphins were smart, they wouldn't have given Tua that contract. If Jacksonville was smart, they wouldn't have given their quarterback that contract. You've got to be willing to make the hard move to move your organization forward. And really, the only two teams that have done it consistently have been the Patriots and been the Chiefs.
And who's won more Super Bowls in the last 20 years?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, they're the only two organizations that have been competitive consistently for the last, 25 years are those two organizations. And they're always the ones that people go, I can't believe they got rid of that guy. And then the season starts and you never remember that guy.
I would also say Philadelphia.
Yeah, they've done a nice job too. Yeah,
Philadelphia knows who to pick up, when to pick up.
Yep.
They got rid of a lot of their secondary this year in the offseason.
Josh Sweat's probably not coming back. And he dominated.
And they drafted well. Like, they went and got Cooper DeJean to replace. Like, Howie Roseman and Brett Veach, 1A, 1B. I wouldn't argue if you had one over the other, however you want to put it. I'd say that's essentially, if a quarterback comparison, that's Allen and Mahomes. Right? Talent-wise, you're like, would you rather have Josh Allen or would you rather have Patrick Mahomes? And you're like, based on talent? Okay, would you rather have Brett Veach or Howie Roseman? Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, if Roseman's in Kansas City and Veach in Philadelphia, we're having the same conversation. Like, in Roseman, we trust. We would do the same thing here, and that's just the way that goes. But the other thing, too, about that is that this is why football, and I mean, somehow we talked about baseball, too, today with this sort of situation, but this is why football continues to eat the hearts of every fan, because it's stuff like this that gets two sides of a conversation. Well, now we don't have a left guard and we don't have a left tackle. You mean to tell me you don't think that guy that runs the operations isn't putting that already in perspective?
Like there's
and
a plan in place, yeah.
You heard Nate Taylor say that. He goes, if you make a move like this, you already have another move in advance.
Yes.
Brett Veach is a golfer or a pool player. He knows his next shot over his current shot is more important at the time. You can have a wide open 6-ball corner pocket, but where are you leaving it for your next shot so you don't leave somebody else's shot? That's how the game of pool is played.
You don't make
golf
this
is
move
golf
unless
is
you're
the same
prepared.
way. I'm teeing my ball up on the driver or on the tee box so I can put it in the middle of the fairway so I know I have a distance to the green. I'm not going, all right, I'm going to bomb this shot. No, you're already thinking about your next shot before your current one.
Yeah.
That's Brett Veach in the draft, and that's why it's worked in Kansas City. It's why it's worked in New England. That's why it's worked in Philadelphia. And yeah, and that's the way it goes. That's the way I trust it, and that's the way I look at it. And you look at why the NBA struggles. You look at why MLB struggles. And why the NFL doesn't, because moves like this and teams like this with the way that it's structured have to happen in order to be successful.
Yeah, you're moving out a player to get A, younger, B, cheaper, and then C, have money that you can spend better. Like, think about your household budget. I mean, it's basically what that is. All right, we're going to need to cut something out that we like, but we got to cut it out because we got to pay for something that's more important. Like, let's just use Chiefs season tickets as an example versus, something at your home. Like, all of a sudden you need a new roof or something like that, right? Well, this year we're not going to be able to go to Chiefs games. We've got to cut that out of our budget because we need that money because we need a new roof on our house. That's essentially what is going on here. Joe Thuney's your Chiefs season tickets. He's a luxury at this point in time. We got leaks all over, man. We got to repair the foundation. We got to jack up the driveway and fix that. And, we need a new roof. So we're not going to be able to pay Joe Thuney as much as we love Joe Thuney and want him here. We're just not going to be able to afford Joe Thuney this year because we've got other areas that need to be fixed, that require our money, that require our TLC right now, and that's what they're going to do. And to kind of piggyback off of what you said with Nate Taylor, this move isn't made if they don't know what their next couple of moves are. It's not just their next move. There is a flow chart to all of this. All right, we tag Trey. Then we trade Thuney after the tag deadline, which frees up the ability now to go sign Ronnie Stanley if we want to go do that. We drafted Kingsley last year. We envision him as a guard. That's a guy that we're going to use in that position. Like, you have to understand, these guys aren't just waking up in the morning and deciding to do things. These are laid out plans. These are talked about plans. These are discussed plans. Everybody in the organization's okayed it from ownership on down. And here we sit. These are the moves that you make when you're in the midst of a dynasty to stay in the midst of a dynasty. If you extend a 33-year-old guard and he's got 1, maybe 2 more years left in him, and you didn't fix the left tackle spot, we're at the same exact spot we were on February 8th or whatever it was at the Super Bowl when everybody was running through that offensive line.
And I'll give Alex Gold credit, who you'll be able to hear in 28 minutes, but he says, to react to Kingsley's 2 bad games at left tackle and to think that he couldn't play left guard is, kind of foolish, because I think that that's what the move is. And somebody in the text line says, well, they do have their left guard. It's going to be Kingsley.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
And if he is, maybe he's not a left tackle, but, maybe he can be a really good left guard. Wade Davis wasn't a great starting pitcher, was a fantastic closer.
Great reliever for a couple years. And that's all you need. You don't need Kingsley to be the next Will Shields or the next Joe Thuney or the next Trey Smith.
Be a lot cooler if he was.
Yeah, of course it would be, right? But you just need him to be a really good left guard. But more importantly, he becomes a better left guard if you get a left tackle next to him that's legit. And if you put a left tackle next to him that's a stiff, then he's not going to have the ability to be a good left guard at all, because he's going to be worried about the guy next to him not getting the job done, and we saw that trickle-down effect this year. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to have a young guy at your left guard spot, that means you're going to invest in that left tackle position. Have faith in Brett Veach, man. I'm not asking you to have faith in somebody who just showed up on a Tuesday and is making these moves. The man has an immaculate track record.
Also, the tackle to guard thing happens almost every season in the NFL. I see some texters kind of freaking out about that. Oh, guard? Yes. I mean, the Super Bowl winning team, Mekhi Becton, their starting right guard, he's a left tackle for the Jets for the last 3 years. Like, you're not that good at left tackle. We're going to move you inside. Alex Kappa, drafted as a tackle to Tampa Bay. Cincinnati says, you're not that good at tackle. You're going to be a guard. They were both better. This happens all the time. So to write off Kingsley is foolish.
Well, I don't think you can. I don't think it's fair to write so. And I hate to use the term fair because this isn't about being fair. But like you're writing off a guy because he had two. Like first impressions, I know are so big for everybody, right?
Especially in sports.
In sports, and we have celebrated so many people that look good in spring training. Or how many dopes have we fallen in love with at River Falls or
He's a
up there at
star.
St. Joe? Oh my God, this guy's going to be great, and you never hear from the guy. We've all been guilty of that, right? So you just can't make it. I mean, think about transitioning from college football to the pros and playing offensive line. I mean, it's not an easy transition. Some guys do make it look easy. They're called Hall of Famers, and then there's everybody else. And Kingsley may be in that everybody else category, but if he's just a really good offensive guard for the next 3 to 5 years, that's a win for everybody.
Plus, they got to figure out backup quarterback.
I know.
I mean, because according to Tom Pelissero, the Raiders and Gardner Minshew said that they're going to release him when the new league year begins next Wednesday, per source Sizz. Minshew has 46 career starts and is only 28. There's your backup in Kansas City.
I like it. Yeah, he wears jorts and drives an RV. Let's go.
No, being facetious
I
there.
know,
But
I
yeah,
know.
no, I
But they always sign some random back. Who's it going to be this year, right?
It was Carson Wentz last
Right,
year. We're
exactly.
all like, really? Okay.
Right. If they sign, you wouldn't be surprised at all if they signed Gardner Minshew. That's just what, okay.
Normally it'd be funny, but normally it's like that veteran that you forget about that's like floating around somehow in the NFL. You're like, okay, this guy is going to be on our team. He's 32 years old and everybody forgot about him because he's hopefully never going to play.
Yeah.
Getting the breaking news out of today, the Bears and Chiefs have made a trade for one Joe Thuney for a future 2026 fourth-round pick. The Chiefs create $18 million in cap space, something they need. And plus, they will still restructure. They will still, I believe, 2 other players. Plus, they got to pay Trey Smith. Plus, there's still a guy named Trent McDuffie they got to pay.
They're going to eventually have to pay him as well. It's funny.
And Karlaftis.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say and they created the cap space, right? And I'm going to bring this to baseball for a second because the Royals have contacted the Mets and talked about getting Starling Marte, an outfielder, right? I'm not huge into that, right?
Yeah, I'm good.
The Mets are asking, I think, for an unreasonable return on investment there and a 36-year-old outfielder.
Bobby Wood Jr.?
Probably.
Yeah.
Straight up, would you make that trade if you're the Mets?
As if Juan Soto's not good enough,
right?
Bobby and Juan.
Yeah, Bobby and Juan out there. So they've been in conversations with the Mets about Starling Marte. They just don't see eye to eye on return, which is where you start every negotiation.
That gives me a lot of Reggie Sanders vibes.
Reggie's a great dude, man.
He is.
I love Reggie.
But we got him at like age 36.
Yeah, right.
And it was
right. But I mean, you talk about a superstar guy. I love Reggie Sanders with all my heart. And so you've got that kind of conversation going on right now. The one thing you didn't have to say about baseball, which pisses everybody off, is that, they don't have to clear room out of their salary cap to go get Starling Marte. If they want him, they can just go get him. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So that's cool. That we could just go do that and not have to add, but yet everybody wants a salary cap in baseball, and now we're seeing how a salary cap in football sometimes hurts a team that you like because you have to get rid of a player that you really cared about for the last couple of years.
And that's just always the way the NFL is. It's why you're always cautious with like jersey buying. Like, what's a jersey? Mahomes or Kelsey? Those would be the 2 jerseys I'd tell everybody.
Chris Jones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would, maybe not 2 years ago when it was
right now. Yeah. I think you're safe with it. Kelsey will be an all-timer, obviously,
because he's going to retire to this year, not play for anybody else.
But so what? You can still have that jersey.
Legendary.
Right? Maslowski jerseys are still rolling through Arrowhead.
People still wear Derek Thomas and Neil Smith jerseys.
I know.
So I mean, you could still those jerseys live on in eternity.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Mahomes obviously will. Chris Jones will, and I think we're this close to being able to get that Trent McDuffie jersey. So as soon as he signs that contract, then let's go.
Yeah, he's just got to learn how to go against big-bodied receivers, and he's just
he also has to learn how to just continue to shut down the other half of the field like he's done all season. Like that to me, like any Trent McDuffie criticism at this point in time is just that's white noise too.
I think somebody brings up Creed Humphreys a jersey you could buy.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah. But a lot of people buying offensive lineman jerseys.
I'm sure people buy Jason Kelsey. There's the anomaly.
Yeah, there's an anomaly. You're right, Kelsey. Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody that has a Lane Johnson jersey in Philadelphia.
You think?
Probably.
Or they have a Johnson
sure.
and they
I would say for sure there's a Lane Johnson jersey.
Yes. Maliata, people love Maliata in Philadelphia. The
So
Australian.
much they buy his jersey.
I think.
I guess I'd probably get a Will Smith jersey.
You want to know my NFL depth chart knowledge? Here we go.
You don't know like a big guy who buys lineman. I've got 2 big dudes in my life who buy lineman jerseys.
Well, that's why I brought up earlier. Binkley has a rule.
Yeah.
He goes, if you're 3 spins, you can't wear a jersey number under
is
the
that
number
what that
of
means?
50.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're 250 pounds or 300, you have to wear a jersey number of 50 or higher.
My dad's fat friend came out years ago to watch the Chiefs play back in the day. And it's fine. Like 400 pounds, right? And the dude goes, and this was before like Rally House even existed and all this, guys. It was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
The dude goes and buys a Dante Hall jersey.
82, baby.
I mean, you look at this guy who's 400 pounds with this Dante Hall jersey.
That's in the 80s, though.
Yeah, but you can't wear an 80s jersey if you're like a wide receiver jersey if you're 400 pounds. I get it, right. But like, what offensive lineman jersey would you be willing to buy? Will Shields, obviously. Trey Resigns, I'd buy it because it's personal.
Sally
today,
Amu is D-line, so I don't know if that counts.
No, it doesn't. I'm talking about offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Like, do you think like back in the day people had Orlando Pace jerseys?
I'd have bought a Willie Roaf jersey just because.
That'd be cool. That would be cool to have.
77 walking around like, damn, it's a Roaf jersey?
Yeah.
How did you get that?
I mean, go to the stores and see how many offensive lineman jerseys you see. I bet you see Creed Humphrey, and that's probably about it. Maybe a Trey Smith.
Maybe a Trey. I'd buy a Trey.
Yeah, I think Creed's like in the family like of sports fandoms locally of like a fan favorite.
Yeah. I
don't think he's like top 3 or 4, but I think he's in there. I mean, hell, he was in the SNL skit. Even though they cut it, he was still in the skit. He was
there.
with Mahomes and everybody. And he went to the Monday Night Raw with him and Trey. Like those were his bodyguards. So yeah, big news today in the Chiefs world. We'll wrap this show up on the other side. Listen to Fescoe and Dusty with our producer Mac as well on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, you see the weather conditions outside today. Some schools had late openings. Some schools were canceled today. That means the roads are bad. Just heard from my wife. She goes, not great out there today. So if you do run into that car trouble, you need to call my friends over at Jay's Southland Tow Service because they will be there when you call. You won't have to wait for an insurance company to send somebody out because that's the last thing you want to do. You just want to know if I get into an accident or if something bad goes wrong with my car, somebody's going to come help me right away. And that is Jay's Southland Tow Service. So I want you to keep their number handy, 816-779-4TOW. That's 816-779-4TOW. Put it in your phone and forget about it. And that way, it's there when you need it. Maybe your car doesn't start today. Maybe you get blown off the side of the road. Maybe you do go into a ditch or you have a fender bender. You've got to call the guys at Jay's Southland Tow. And they can help you whether you're north, south, east, or west. They're just a phone call away. 816-779-4TOW or at southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by the most local police departments in Tammy from the Weston. It's Jay's Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
And Doug.
Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Get ready for the NAIA Men's College Basketball Championship, March 20th through the 25th at Municipal Auditorium in KC. 16 teams, 15 games, 6 days, 1 national champion. Don't miss out on nonstop college basketball action. Budget-friendly tickets are available now at NAIAHoops.com.
Today's weather, there could be a lot of cars in the front lawn. Please be safe. Hopefully those that have been without power. Has your mom got any power back yet, or is she still waiting?
Does Momo have power?
She's at work. I don't know.
Oh, that's the best day to go to work.
Yeah.
No power at the house? I'd love to come in, boss.
See ya.
Oh, I'd have been here if I lost power. And they're like, stay home. They're like, nah.
I'm going to go into work today,
Yeah,
take care of business. You're lucky if your work has like a full shower and a gym you could work out in, take care of everything, maybe a little kitchen. You never have to go home.
We had a really good gym at that one hotel. Big gym.
Huge. Like, I mean, it fit. It was the width of a treadmill, basically.
Literally.
And I'm not making that up.
No, you couldn't even do flies with the dumbbells.
No, you couldn't. 100% you'd hit the wall. That's how narrow this gym was.
John McCain
yeah.
workout. You get like 3/4 of the way up.
Oh, wow.
He's a hero.
He is a hero.
Absolutely.
It's okay. He'd be okay with that joke. I think.
Good sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, that is Baker Mayfield up there. Isn't
It is. It looks like Baker Mayfield on NFL
it's
Network.
Cody.
Oh.
Cody's best games of rookie season.
Who the hell's Cody?
He's on from 10 to 2 with Alex.
Let me run this one by you. Earlier, you ran a stat by me about Adam Dunn striking out more in 2012 than Tony Gwynn did in the decade of the 90s, right? Listen to this one. LeBron James has more points than Dwayne Wade and Tracy McGrady combined for their careers. Wow.
Type in LeBron James versus the New Orleans Pelicans.
Does he have more points in the Pelicans franchise?
He has more wins
than the Pelicans as a franchise.
Right. Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. How much longer was LeBron playing before the Pelicans became a franchise, too? I don't know. That took Katrina was 06. Are we talking about the new Pelicans when they changed their name from the Hornets to the Pelicans and then gave the Hornets back to Charlotte? Or like either way, it's still, you know.
No, he scored his 5,000 point or 50 was it 50,000? 50,000 points.
50,000.
Yeah, 50,000 point last night on a 3-pointer. And LeBron can't shoot threes.
I mean, it's crazy to see that.
They say. I think it's crazy. He's 40 and he's still putting up these sort of numbers.
He's putting up better numbers than when he was 26. But I like the fact when people will say, well, he's played for a long time. No, what? Well, yes, that's a credit. You can't, run somebody down because they've had a long career.
Right.
And it's not like LeBron James is hung on at life support. This guy's gone out there and been the best player on the floor almost every night.
And we'll see this as time goes on with athletes. Like, there's a reason why Brady played till he was 45. Like, modern science, food knowledge sort of stuff. And then, like, LeBron here now, like, we'll see with Mahomes. Like, Mahomes will probably, unless he doesn't want to or something catastrophic happens, I bet Mahomes will be able to play till he's 45 if he really wanted to.
He really wants to,
He'll have to change some lifestyle things probably, like Brady did.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like Brady did.
And as you get older and evolve in life, you just have to make lifestyle changes, right? Like, I can't do what I used to do anymore. So you get older, you get to that point. Yeah, you have to change your diet. You have to change your exercise. You have to change your sleep. Like, everything gets factored in. So, yeah, if Mahomes wants to play till he's 45, I'm sure there's the abilities are out there to do that.
Andrew Luck probably could have, but he played against Mahomes in the playoffs one time. It was like, no,
I'm out.
This is not my league. This is that guy's league. But yeah, if you missed it, go down to and download the Odyssey app. Go to the YouTube page, download our show or subscribe to that show. That way it pops up at the top of your screen, doesn't get all discombobulated. You can go right there. Joe Thuney was traded to the Chicago Bears today for a 4th-round pick in 2026. The Chiefs create money. They get younger.
Yep.
We know the history. Go look at the draft last year and see where the Chiefs drafted. Go look. Just go look and see what the guys they drafted last year. And be like, oh, lineman. Okay, so this was here in case this guy left. This was here in case this guy fell off the face of the earth and wasn't good anymore. This guy, in case he wanted an extension at the age of 34 for $18 million, probably wasn't going to happen. We're going to send him off. And you send it to somebody that you know and that you like. So you send him to Ryan Poles.
Right, exactly. And you start to look, though, back at that draft. And Brett Veach always tells you what's going to happen the next year based on the way he drafts the year before. But a year ago at this time, you had Trey Smith getting ready to have an expiring contract and an offensive guard on the other side that was pushing his mid-30s and was probably going to want an extension as well. So we're probably not going to have both of those guys back. Let's decide what we want to do. Let's start drafting some of these guys and give them the opportunity to win a starting job. And that's you want that system in place where a guy ages out and then the next guy is already here and he just steps into that starting role. This is how good franchises maintain success and maintain being a good franchise.
Yeah, and what it means now is that Kingsley is in line to play left guard.
Right.
And people that think that he can't do it, Matt gave you plenty of evidence of why it does work out. I don't know if he's going to be great, okay? I can't give you the crystal ball, but I trust that they plan on him to be that guy that can do well. I mean, he was a rookie last year, had 2 bad games.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, let's just clown on him for 2 games that we saw on a sample size of left tackle as a rookie in the NFL that maybe as a left guard – you don't have as big of a role, and maybe you do find yourself as a guard, and then your interior line's back to being what it is. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and maybe Kingsley Suamataia is that guy at left guard.
And we don't know, and I don't think it's right to sit here and say that this kid can't play guard. How do I know what he can do, right? You don't know. We're not there every day at practice. None of us know what he could do. Did he look good playing tackle? Hell no, he didn't. But you know what? You give a guy another opportunity, and you say, you know what? We, as an organization, may have put you in a bad position as a rookie because we were desperate. Who was the starting left tackle starting the year?
Wanya Morris?
Was it Wanya Morris?
It was. So that's what I went to go look up. It was Kingsley Suamataia. And so he started week 1 against Baltimore, top 10 defense.
Right.
Week 2, who'd they play? Cincinnati. Oh, it was the number 2 in DPOY voting, the sack leader, Trey Hendrickson. So he went up against a great front four, and then the sack leader in the NFL, and Trey Hendrickson, in his first 2 weeks in the NFL.
That's a welcome
Everyone's
to the
climbing
NFL, right? And now people don't think he's any good and whatnot. And the fact of the matter is that you may have had to do something that you're not normally used to doing, and you're doing it at the NFL level, right? It wasn't like this guy was Orlando Pace and drafted out of Ohio State and fit right in and became a Hall of Famer immediately overnight for the Rams.
Great left tackle.
That was one of the best of all time.
Jonathan Ogden and Orlando Pace. That's who I always remember.
It was phenomenal. I remember telling Jonathan Ogden at the 2009 Super Bowl in Tampa.
That's a big man.
I go, you got the biggest head I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He sat right down. We had the best interview. It was great, right? And so those guys, right? Those are few and far between, folks. I mean, we're not talking about, an offensive line tree where you just go out and pluck the next guy and stick them in and they take over. It takes time to adjust to this league. And when Kingsley came in, he came in from BYU. What conference were they in before they joined the Big 12? It wasn't the Pac-12. He wasn't playing against the best college competition at that point in time. And so now you're taking a guy who was, at a lesser, if you will, and I don't like to use the term lesser, but not a Power 5 conference school at the time that he played, and you're saying, all right, welcome to the NFL. You're now our starting left guard, and you get the Ravens and Trey Hendrickson in weeks 1 and weeks 2, and that's what we want to make our decision off of. Guys are allowed to get better. Guys do get better. And then a position switch happens, and they get even better because of that. And so that's why I think we have to give this guy an opportunity to play, because we didn't give him an opportunity to play his first year here, and the Chiefs may have been playing him out of position.
Yeah. Somebody says, so you're saying that I'm at 45, that's why I can no longer drink a 12-pack
Yes.
and to go to the long with my Crave case. No, you can do it.
It can feel good.
Yeah, they got better light beers for you now. They got medicinal stuff that's more tested. So yeah, you can extend your party time.
Yeah, you just got to do it a little bit differently. Grabbing the 18-pack and sitting down on a Saturday and powering through that thing doesn't work when you're in your 40s anymore. So you got to change things up a little bit. Tequila.
Yeah. Sam McDowell says the Chiefs love Joe Thuney, but he'll turn 33 during the year and has earned an extension. Casey already extended 25-year-old Creed Humphrey and hoped to extend 25-year-old Trey Smith As I said when they text me, there's a lot of resources into the IOL, a little less now. Interior offensive lineman. So again, like Thuney's.
That's what we said.
Older?
He's
Yeah,
33. They like him. You move on. I don't like. I understand why it's a conversation, but I don't understand why it's like, oh my God, I don't understand this one, because this is who the Chiefs are. This is what they do. And once they traded Tyreek Hill, you knew what their mindset was, which is what we tried to tell you even before they traded Tyreek Hill. Eventually, it was going to be Patrick Mahomes, and we're going to build around this quarterback just like the New England Patriots did. And that's what we're seeing right now. It's commonplace, man. This is normal now.
On a lighter note, probably going to talk about it more tomorrow. This is why Travis Kelce on the New Heights podcast says he came back for year 13.
Why are you playing another season?
The biggest thing is that I love playing the game of football.
That's a good reason.
I love playing. I still feel like I could play it at a high level and possibly at a higher level than I did last year. I don't think it was my best outing. I let my guys down in a lot more moments than I helped them, especially if you look at my track record and how I've been in years past. I want to give it a good run. I got a bad taste in my mouth on how I ended the year and how well I was playing and, how accountable I was for the people around me. And I love so many people in Kansas City, both in that facility, in the community. It's home for me now. I don't want to leave that life yet. I put in a lot of hard work and I put in a lot of, focus into being the best that I can for KC. Last year, it just, it didn't end well for us. I feel like there's a responsibility in me to play out the contract that I initially signed, to give Kansas City and the Chiefs organization everything that I got. And that's what I'm going to do, man.
I hear what you're saying. I think, it's hard losing a Super Bowl. You feel like there's so many things you could have done better or whatnot. Don't lose sight of the big reason that you guys are there is because of who you are. You know what I mean? I know you're going to be dedicated like you always are.
Kansas City, baby. We're back at it for at least one more year. I can't say whether or not this is going to be the last year because I still love a lot of what I do for the city of Kansas City and the Chiefs organization. So I know I got one on my contract. I'm going to give you guys everything I got, baby.
I love it. Saying there's a chance for 2027.
When does Taylor go back on tour?
I don't know. That's out of my threshold. I don't know when she goes on tour.
Does she even announce when she's going to go back on tour?
Of course. It breaks the internet. Yeah.
Oh, so she has announced when the next
she
tour?
will.
But
and
she hasn't.
No, because you'll know.
That's a good point.
Your daughter's like, Dad, just go to Kansas City. You're like, oh, crap.
So I know there's some people that believe once she goes back on tour, that's when he'll go and retire and all that kind of stuff. But you love it, man. Like, who can be upset that Travis Kelce's coming back for another year? Oh, he was terrible in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he didn't have a good day. He was also sick. You ever tried doing your job sick? Whew. Sometimes they need to build in toilets to these chairs, like that kind of stuff. Like, you try to play an NFL game with the flu? Love you, Trav. Glad to have you back.
I need a
for
Miller,
at least another year.
I need a Miller Lite and a Zen immediately. What a world of a day of sports. Check it out on the podcast page, and also go check out something you can do personally. Go be nice. Go do something nice for someone. You never know. It could change their day, week, their month, or their year. It is simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay kind, stay safe, stay warm. Cody and Golden Drew coming up next from 10 to 2.